hear me criticize you guys. Constructive criticism anymore. I won't say anything else. Anything
Okay,
else.
okay. Hold on a second. Hold on. Look, the way you said it was the problem more than what you said, I think.
How did I say it? I said you
You were
guys are
very
standing down.
agitated. You were very agitated, and you kind of came off like you were kind of attacking us. I didn't really say anything. Jet didn't take it very well, but I think it was your delivery more than the message. Again, we gotta be more open to talking about mistakes. And admittedly, I don't think I played well at all last night. Period. Overall, like in any of the games we played, straight up. But that game in particular, I didn't feel like that particular criticism felt right to me because I was trying to help you, but like by the time I got there, it was already too late. You know, it was I don't know. Maybe that was your point, is that our reaction time was late, but or what
I
have you.
said it in the
But
regular
I gotta
tone.
go
I was
watch
just
the
like,
replay. I need to watch the
yeah.
replay.
I
I
said it
never
in the
actually
regular.
watched it.
I just said it in the regular tone. I said it in a monotone tone. I was just like, everybody was
No,
complaining about.
you were frustrated.
No,
You did it in your kind of angry voice,
I didn't
like
do it in an angry voice. I
I think you
did.
did. I think
I
you did. I think
I
you
did
did.
it in a monotone voice. I made
Yeah.
sure I did it in a monotone voice. I was like, I'm gonna say this in a monotone voice. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, you guys weren't there either. Because you
Yeah.
guys were complaining. Everybody was complaining about the other people. I'm like, hey, you guys weren't there either. And I'm just being honest about it. And then
Yeah.
like,
I'm
what?
gonna watch I'm gonna watch the replay after we're done, okay? When we finish recording, I'm gonna get my dinner, I'm gonna heat it up, and I'm gonna
Yeah, I
freaking
watched the replay, and there were
I'm
times where I was forcing stuff. I forced some,
yeah.
like 2 or 3 plays. I forced. I can definitely say that, and I said that in my initial, like, I was like, hey, I forced some stuff or whatever. But there were times. There was one time in particular where Jet was just standing there for a
Well,
good 3 to 4 seconds.
in that particular game, I remember the flow of the game for myself, so I can only speak to me. I don't know what was going on with Jet. I wasn't paying attention to him the whole time.
Yeah,
Was early game was very contested for us in bottom lane. Like it was a tough lane.
yeah.
And it was Lux and Jin, I believe, were in that game. And that Lux was fucking my shit up, dude. Like she was hitting me with every one of her AoE. I think that's her E. Is that her E? The one where that's like the
Yeah,
AoE
the
explosion.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
she was hitting me with every E she was throwing out almost, dude. And it was like I couldn't dodge it no matter what I did. Like it was really frustrating, bottom. But we managed to survive because he was playing Sona and like he could sustain. So we did okay, and I was poking them out somewhat. Like we were getting some poke on them, but it was a tight lane. I don't think they won it. I don't think we won it. I feel like it was mostly a draw. But I came out of that part of the game though, like not feeling super powerful or not even like confident, I guess is what I should say, because we didn't shut them down. So they were in the game. Like Jin and Lux were very effective in the game. I felt like Lux in particular was very effective later in the game. I don't really feel like the Jin was that great, but he wasn't not a threat though, as a lot of the ADCs are sometimes. So we had that, but we also had the problem of the rest of their team was also doing very well. So it felt like a situation where I did not feel very powerful nor confident to kind of step out and challenge people the way I usually do with Ez, where I'm a little bit more ballsy, where I'll go out and I'll try to bait people into a 1v1 sometimes with him, and because once they start walking towards you, that's when you can take advantage of them. They're not trying to dodge you anymore. They're walking towards you, and bam, you WE, and you've taken off a third of their health.
yeah.
And then you start kiting them back, and dude, if you hit them with another WE, well, fuck, they're fucking scared and running away at that point, and then you've got the fight. The fight's fucking over. But these people were too tanky for that kind of thing, and I wasn't feeling confident in that way, so I was kind of playing a little tight, I guess, is what I'll say.
You know what? I will take the L, and I think I was frustrated. I'll take it back. I
Yeah.
did try to say it in a monotone voice, but I was frustrated.
But
I was only
I will tell you later in the game,
fresh.
I didn't feel like I was playing well. So I'm taking your feedback seriously. Like I
No,
probably wasn't there for
my
you.
delivery wasn't well, and the reason why
Yeah.
my delivery wasn't well, I would say this is because I was getting frustrated with blaming it on cheating. I was just like, it wasn't cheating. Like we weren't doing well at
No,
all.
I never
Like,
thought the Lux was cheating. Really, I think the problem with her was there were a couple times, and this is the other reason I want to watch the replay, where she was hitting abilities with what we thought was no vision. There was a time where I was backing between mid and bot lane outside of our base. You know that little strip that's like, at the edge of the lane,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the top side of the map. I was backing in front of that, and she walked all the way from red up that lane, like up that alleyway, and almost killed me. Like, and I'm like, do you have vision here? Like, it just was like, it was crazy shit she was doing, and she was doing that kind of thing all the entire game. So I think we were up against somebody who was just good, and I don't
yeah,
really think she was cheating. I think she just had really good game sense and kind of read us as players. It was kind of reading our movements and our tendencies really well. So I never said she was cheating. There were a couple times where I was like getting frustrated, and I was like, man, this is feeling really fucking weird, like it just feels like
yeah,
she always
yeah.
knows where I am, or where to throw her abilities to fuck me up, but I think
Yes,
she
it
might have
was.
just been good.
Yeah, it was a couple of times she caught me
Yeah.
red-handed, and I was just like, I just chalk it up to the luck.
Because she
It
was
was
missing shit. She was
yeah,
not hitting her binds very much, actually. Like the binds weren't hitting very much. She missed her ult a few times actually too. So I really don't think she was cheating. Like it wasn't like perfect gameplay. It was just movement sometimes. Her vision was fucking on point. I felt like she always had vision exactly where the enemy team needed it in that game. It felt like, and she was clear in Jet's vision and everything. Like she was winning the ward battle. Also, so it just, I don't know. So it was a frustrating game. I think we could have won it. But ultimately, like I just, yeah, I don't even remember what the rest of the team had. Was there a Darius in that game? Was that?
no, that was another game. We had it was a Renekton and
Oh, it was
a
set. We had an Alawi, right?
that was the games
The
after that.
next game.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a Renekton on the top lane, and I can't remember who was mid lane.
Oh, you're right.
Um,
Well, you were up against the
yeah,
mid laner.
no, I was in jungle.
Oh,
I
you were
was
in
echo.
jungle.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
echo jungle, and they countered
That's
me by
right.
picking Nunu.
That's right. Okay. And their Nunu sucked, actually. That's right. I remember he was the one I was targeting because he was so easy to kill, but
Yeah, he
could
just
still
kept
have an
getting
eye.
opportunity kills, and
Yeah.
it wasn't a
Yeah.
good game.
Yeah.
It was frustrating.
So
But
feedback taken. I will. I'm gonna go watch the replay because I am curious about it. I feel like I can learn a lot from the games I played last night because I, like I said, I didn't play well at all in any of them.
yeah, I watched a couple of them from my perspective, what I could have done better. In that game in
Yeah.
particular, it was just games it was just stuff I was trying to force because I knew we can win, but it wasn't you guys, it was the skill of the two other teammates that just wasn't there, and
Yeah.
I ended up falling behind because of that shit. So
Well, I think that's
uh,
part of it, but I don't disagree with your assessment though. I think later in the game, me and Jet weren't necessarily pulling our weight either. I think it's just as a team, we ended up just kind of falling apart.
yeah, yeah, I can definitely
Um,
agree with that.
so yeah, but patch changes though 14.19. So we're in 14.18 that just came out yesterday. 14.19 pre-patch preview has come out, and Montrell, it is setting the league community on fire. They are
So
nerfing
are
items
they upset
across.
by it?
Oh my god, dude. Go to the Reddit. Holy shit, people are mad. Everybody's pissed. There's nobody satisfied with this. But just to give people context, they're nerfing pretty much all items across the board. They said about 10 to 15%. However, if you read the notes, if you go through the patch notes, it's not that uniform. There's some items that are getting nerfed 5%. There's some items that are getting nerfed 10% or 15%. And then there are some items that are getting fucking gutted, like 20%, 25%. They're losing entire passives. Like I think Eclipse is losing part of its passive, like completely. The percent health damage that it does is just going away. They're just taking it out. And they're also nerfing it. Lichbane got fucking wrecked, dude. Like to the point that I'm not even sure the item is going to be worth buying. It feels like. Oh, hold on, I have the notes up. Let me go try to find this here. Yeah, Lichbane
Yeah, put the
ability
notes
haste.
in the chat real quick.
Okay, ability haste reduced from 15 to 10. Movement speed reduced 8% to 4%. AP increased 100 to 115. Sheen proc AP ratio reduced 45% to 40%. And those are the big changes. So I guess they did increase the AP ratio, but they nerfed it in all its other ways, like all its other substats. So um, that is pretty big though. ADC items got hit really hard. I think ADCs that scale with attack speed are really going to be the only ones that are good in this next patch, because the attack speed items didn't really get hit too hard. The raw AD items slash items that are crit items got fucking wrecked, dude. Like all of them lost AD pretty much, whether it's like 10 to 15. They lost movement speed. A lot of movement speed items got cut in half or worse, or cut in half or lost like 2 or 3% of movement speed. Like Phantom Dancer went from 12 to 8% move speed. That's a huge difference. So a lot of ability haste got reduced on a ton of items as well, which I find to be interesting because that is going to change the game a lot. Ability haste has become so prevalent and common that many champs just have like a ton of it by the end of the game. Like Ez, for example.
I just don't like that. I mean, I feel like by the end of the game, yes, it should feel like that. I like when it was capped at 45%, in my opinion, or was it 40 or 45%. It when it's capped at 45%. Now with the new ability haste, you can stack it unlimitedly. But some champions get it really early and they have really short cooldowns, and I don't feel like it was meant for them to have that short of a cooldown, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just really weird. From the changes I was seeing though, like from what I've read, I know they did some more changes since then, and since I last tagged you guys in it. I don't mind all the changes actually. Like I think it's really good for the game and healthy for the game for everything to be nerfed.
I agree with you.
My problem is like even okay, so they did nerf some of the tank items like Force of Nature, Frozen Heart.
Some.
Yeah, some. So that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
And okay, Heart still got fucking gutted. It's reduced to 100% base healing. That's crazy to me.
Thank
That's
God.
really good.
Good.
But some champions are definitely going to be more powerful than others. I think this is going to be the top lane meta. This is the meta they've been waiting for the last 5 to 10 years. Top laners are always complaining they don't have enough shit or whatever the case may be. So this is going to be this is your time, top laners. I don't want to hear shit. Like this is your time. I think this is going to be a top laners meta. People like Aatrox is going to love this. People like Lowry is going to love this. People like Set, fucking Mundo, like they are gonna love this shit. And then other top laners, like Gwen,
Camille,
I feel like
she's
Camille,
gonna get fucking rocked.
Yeah,
dude.
she's gonna get wrecked. Fucking Aurelia, she's gonna get wrecked.
Yeah.
They're gonna be fucking gutted. They're not gonna be good at all. Unfortunately, you know who wins out of all of this is fucking Garen. Garen's gonna love this meta. This is gonna be a Garen meta.
Darius probably too.
Yeah, probably Darius too.
Well, so characters that have high base stats and have a lot of damage built into their kit by default are going to be strong. And the ones that scale really well are going to be really good as well. Like I think that's tanks are going to be fucking feasting, dude. Like Zac, Mundo, Nasus. I feel like these characters are all going to be making a severe, significant comeback. We're going to be seeing them every fucking game. Probably, and because I really don't think ADCs are going to be able to handle them. Most of the ADC roster, like I think Vayne is going to be like a S tier champ in this next patch, probably, because most of her items did not get touched, and if tanks do make a comeback, she's the ADC to deal with it.
So for sure, because she scales super well. Like,
right. Well, she's just a classic tank buster too, right?
Yeah. And one thing I did like about this is, I mean, they brought back it's going to be good and bad. So this meta, in my opinion, is going to separate ADCs from ADCs. Like, no matter what character you're using, this is going to separate it, because it used to be ADCs had to wait until like 25 minutes to become powerful. So you had to really be strategic on the map, how to farm and everything. This is going to be a farm heavy meta, and it's not going to be a skirmisher meta. So people like Kai'Sa are going to be, well, she may survive this meta actually. Kaisa may be a B tier in this meta.
Ez, I think is gonna be fucked.
Yeah,
like,
Ez is done.
I think Ez is done. He's gonna be unplayable. I feel like
unless somebody finds some kind of weird bruiser build with him. Yeah, he's fucking done. I think Jin's gonna be done.
Yeah,
I
Jin's
think
in trouble.
Samir's gonna be done. Nyla may survive.
She'll be okay because she'll be in that bruiser territory.
Yeah.
She's a bruiser ADC basically, so she'll maybe okay depending on how the items shake out. She has a lot of damage in her kit too. Evasion.
Ash is still gonna be safe, bro. Ash is still gonna be.
Ash will
really
be good.
pick.
I think Varus will be fine. I actually don't think this is gonna affect Varus much at all. Actually,
I think Varus is gonna love this meta. Varus,
I
Kog'Maw.
Agree.
Vayne,
well, less movement speed in general on everything. Everybody's movement speed is taking a hit here. So that means Varus is gonna love it because it means kiting is gonna be much easier for him to do. So he's always been slow, you know. He doesn't really buy movement speed items besides boots. So it's like so this is definitely, I think he's going to be much more viable just by factor of everybody else changing, you know, like cuz most of his items didn't get hit too hard really, especially the on hit stuff really didn't take a big hit. But his crit build is probably going to be more viable actually, even though the crit items are taking a hit. But I just think his built-in attack speed and damage will make that a viable build path for him more than it is now. So it'll be interesting. AP for him will probably still be strong, I imagine. So it's certain ADCs are going to be interesting, like the ones I play, for instance. Like I think I don't know if Zeri's going to change all that much. Actually, her items didn't really get touched too hard. The shield items, though, like shield bow is getting nerfed, bloodthirster's getting nerfed again. And then what's the other one for her? Static Shiv got a little bit of a nerf, but it's nothing too crazy. And I don't think Runan. I think Runan's got like a very slight attack speed nerf and move speed nerf. Actually, it was just move speed. They didn't even touch the attack speed. So that one should be okay too.
Which I think is weird because
yeah,
it's going to be a weird balance because you don't want ADCs to have too much movement, but you don't want them to have too little movement where they can't kite.
Well, dash has become a bigger problem than they already are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like Lilia is still going to be really good. Kane's still going to be really good.
Brand's going to be a fucking nightmare, even more than he already is, because everyone's going to be picking him. Dude, his items didn't get touched. They didn't fucking touch. They didn't touch Leandries. They didn't touch Blackfire. They did nothing to either one. I don't think they even hold on. Let me go fucking find it. So I'm not talking out of my ass here, but yeah, Blackfire Torch, AP reduced 90 to 80. He doesn't give a shit about that. Ability haste reduced 25 to 20. Whatever.
Well, okay,
base dot increased 15 to 20. AP scaling on dot reduced 3 to 2%. So they did
nerf Leandri's Torment. They nerfed it from 90 to 70 for AP. I didn't know it had that much. I didn't know it had that much AP, though.
That's it. That's not why he wants the item, though. That's not the important part of the item. Like, it's the way the passives on those items interact with him, with his abilities and his passives.
He personally needs to nerf. His E range needs to be nerfed.
I'm going to tell you right now how they fix him. You make the passives on these items only apply once. Period. Done. The end. It's fixed. Like, the character's not a problem anymore. Like, he's balanced suddenly. It's the fact that he can re-trigger Leandries and Blackfire over and over and over again without doing anything to you. Like, it's just like, no, it happened yesterday, dude. He hit me with one ability, literally the AoE fire, like flame strike, fire blast that comes up.
That's his E. Yeah,
he hit me with that, and dude, I'm telling you, I was Ez, and I had 2200 HP. I immediately ran away. He never hit me with another ability, and I went down to 150 health, walking away from him. Like, how is that balanced? I'm watching the Leandries reproc over and over and over and over again. That is not fair in any fucking world. Is that fair? Like, there should be a limit to the number of times it can proc off of one of his abilities, and it should be one. The answer should be one. That's not The point of the item is not that it can continuously fucking proc itself over and over and over again. That is not the purpose of the item. The purpose of the item is to punish people for getting hit by abilities, not to the point where they have to go back to fountain. Like it's meant to like be a poke thing that hurts you more for being poked. Like that's the point of it, you know? And it's too much. Like the way it mechanically works is broken. It doesn't, that is unfunctional. I don't understand why that has been a thing for so long with him. That one I don't understand. But whatever. I'm getting on a rant. So I think I cut you off. You were saying something.
I forgot what I was saying. I was listening to your awesome rant about brand.
Yeah. But like, I mean, do you disagree with me? Do you think I'm wrong?
No,
on
no,
that? Like,
no. I think the dot is a part of his kit.
Yeah, so he has a passive dot that he applies when he hits people with an ability. Yeah. That dot is re-triggering Leandry's.
Yeah,
I think it's specifically Leandry's.
I don't know how the programming works. It may be crazy. So I think to get around the programming, to be lazy, when you're in the E radius, I think the radius of the E should be lowered. Unless it hits a champion, like maybe like Jin's Q or something like that, right? Like unless it hits the champion, then the radius increases. So that way he has to choose if he wants to hit a minion, it's going to be a smaller radius, or if he wants to hit a champion, the radius would expand, you know, and then hit the wave. It would punish people for being out of position, in my opinion. That's what I think. The dotting is crazy, but I mean he doesn't have any mobility. So like once he blows his load, he's useless for about 5 seconds, and then that's your time to get in there and get him. The problem is just getting in there and getting him.
You can't get to him without him hitting you with something.
Yeah, and that's why the E radius needs to be reduced.
Yeah.
I don't think his damage is the problem. I just think it's his ability. Like I truly think it's just the E. If you nerf that E radius, that shit goes away, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure when you got hit with it, you were just standing next to a wave.
No, that's not the one I got hit with. I got hit by the small AoE.
Oh, the small AoE that comes up. Okay.
Yeah, that one. I got hit by that one. And obviously that's a skill shot that you can dodge, and is generally speaking pretty easy to dodge. But I was in the middle of fighting him, and I let that hit me. So that, like, to your point though, even if it would have been the other one, the giant AoE, that probably would have brought me down to 700 health, and I still would have had to run away. You know, it's like
right. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that's fair.
And frankly, I don't think it's fair to be punished for being hit by one ability. One ability. That is stupid. Okay, I'm sorry. The game shouldn't work like that. Like, I hate bot lanes. This is why the Jhin Lux combo was so oppressive. Is that if you got hit by her bind, well, Jhin would then follow up with a root. You're getting punished so hard for getting hit by one ability. It's like, it's just, those kind of comps are so fucking gimmicky and annoying because it's like, it punishes you for something that like pros can't even probably do. You know, it's like, it becomes silly at a certain point. That's why I like the idea that they're reducing damage across the board in the game. The problem is they don't know how to balance the game with the non-damage stuff, like the tankiness and the tank characters, because they have a philosophy that tank characters should do as much damage as everybody else in the game, because that wouldn't be fun. So they are going to inherently create a meta where the tanks dominate because they can't be killed, because nobody can do damage to them because of all the damage reduction, and then they're going to be wrecking everybody because their items barely got fucking touched. You know, it's like
Volibear's even going to be worse in this patch.
Absolutely, 100%.
He's such a sleeper pick right now. It's so crazy.
Yeah, Yorick's going to be a pain in the ass still. Like, I don't. That's the problem. I think the first 2 weeks of this patch, or even month, probably the first like 2 patches after this one, are going to be miserable to play. Like, I can feel that coming. I'm looking forward to the patch though. On the other side of things, because I, as an ADC, definitely want to see how I can do in this meta, because I do think ADC effectiveness is going to be significantly reduced. I think you are correct that good ADC players are going to be separated from ones that aren't good, because I don't like. The biggest thing you're going to have to do probably now is farm, like you said, and that's going to be a key thing, I think, for ADCs, because their early power is just going to be so low.
It's gonna be a crazy meta. I think, cause the more I think about it, the more I think it's just gonna be really crazy because not only is the ADC is going to be separated, I feel like the supports are going to be separated. You can't spam your abilities as much.
Yeah.
Supports they used to like to take biscuits a lot because I can spam my
Yep.
shit, eat a
Yep.
biscuit, and then spam some more. I can get at
Yep.
least 2 or 3 more abilities out of there.
Oh, that's the other reason tanks are going to take over is biscuits. The biscuit change.
Yeah, man, the biscuit's going to be
Dude.
really. I think they should just remove them.
They're
Like me
going to give
personally,
you 270 permanent health.
yeah, I think they should just be removed.
That's insane. That is almost an item's worth of health. Jock Show gives 300 HP right now. Like 270 for a rune? What are you talking about? That is so overtuned. It's crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
they should just remove that item from remove that rune from the game. I mean, like I said, I like the interactions with mana, and I have to at least sacrifice something to get mana, so I have to hit you in order to get mana. I like the interaction between that.
Right.
But yeah, just popping a biscuit and everything like that. Lanes were like they said. I agree. Lanes were very uninteractive when that was happening.
They created this meta. This is the part that frustrates me: is how long it takes them to realize these things. Like I don't understand. Like, do they not play the fucking game? Like I don't.
We're bronze players. We recognize it like immediately,
dude. I like seriously. I don't know, man. Like I feel like they don't play because I don't understand how they don't see these tendencies, you know? I think they're just so focused on pros. Like
I was
too
about to say
focused on
that
pros.
they're too focused on pros because we won't see the like for instance, right? I'm not going to keep bringing it up, but I am. We won't see a Volibear nerf until he goes into pro play, and then they're gonna be like, oh, Volibear's fucking crazy right now. Yeah, he's been crazy.
He's been crazy for 6 months. You haven't touched him, and he's fucking terrorizing low elo, dude. Like,
or they're gonna somebody's gonna bring Yorick into like the spotlight, and then they're like, oh yeah, he is fucking crazy. And it's like, yeah, he can fucking off screen me with one skill shot. That's crazy to me, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, it's a really hard to see skill shot when there's a lot going on too. It's a very muted skill shot. It's not obvious. I think in lane it's not hard to dodge. Like but it's later in the game when the minion waves are gigantic.
There's when he's like camping in a fucking bush or something.
Or he's being a fucking pussy and camping in a bush. That's where it's a problem. But Volibear, dude, I mean, to illustrate your point, we were playing with somebody, one of Andy's friends, and he was not doing very well top lane. He got wrecked by a Volibear, and he's become a Volibear main since that moment, Montrell, because I've seen him online a couple times this week, and he's playing Volibear every game he's in. Like, I'm like, he's like, he like turned into a Volibear main.
Yeah, you can't beat him, Jonah.
Because he's like, no, seriously, he was like 1-8 one game, and he was doing more damage than anybody on our team. Like, he was having a horrible game, but he was like 1v3ing their fucking. I'm like, what is happening? What is this champion? Like, it's just, I don't know. So
yeah, I tried to shut him down because like he had trouble with Alawi, and I think that was actually the Alawi game he had trouble with as Volibear.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, well, Alawi's probably his counter. And I was playing Alawi versus the Volibear. I was 3-0 on this Volibear. And then out of nowhere, this guy just starts going crazy. And I'm like, bro, I cannot fight him like at all. It was one of the most insane things. And the power scaling did not make sense. I was just like, where did this power come from? Like, it's so crazy.
Like, you have more farm than him. He's died 3 times. He has no kills. And somehow,
exactly.
You know, it's just out of nowhere. It's like the Yasuo 1-10 power spike late game, you know, that happens. You let the game go long enough.
It was just crazy. But I don't know. I think for supports as well, I think enchanters are going to be less enchanty. They're going to be really strategic. I think I like, for instance, I think Jet's gonna have to change his aggression strategy when he's playing Sona. He can't be as aggressive anymore. He can't heal as more.
He's not gonna be able to spam the heal as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets so aggressive, dude, like to the point where I'm like, I can't believe you're getting away with this. Like, he's like so out of position and people are still backing up on him, you know? And I'm like, oh my God, man. Like, so,
it was funny one game. You're like, Jet, I can't. You got to back up, bro. I can't keep up with you or something.
Yeah. Well, no, it was just such a random aggression. Like, he's like chasing them into their fucking try up their try like lane, and I'm like sitting there hitting the minions, and I'm like, I helped him at the beginning of it, and he just kept chasing. I'm like, accept the trade, man. Like, at some point, accept the trade, get out. We did 75% of his HP, and we didn't take any. Like, that's a win. Don't push it so far that you end up dying, like, and then you don't get the kill. It's like, I don't. So yeah, I don't know.
Oh my! But Eclipse got fucking gutted. I just saw this. It's
Yes,
gonna cost
yeah.
2,900, and they remove max
Mm-hmm.
bonus health
That
damage
was
on
what I was
passive.
saying. Yeah, yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Holy
They're
shit!
wrecking it, dude. So,
But then
but
they,
all right,
but then they said in that same
yeah.
one that they want to give, like Freak was like, I want to give assassins back their power as well. So I don't know what they're
No,
doing.
no, dude. Assassins are the one everyone's complaining about. They're like, they're not going to be able to kill anybody. Like
I
they're
agree, they're not.
and well, I think the design of assassins is incorrect. I don't think the way they have them. This is the problem with League. They should have learned. They should have learned from Dota 2 a while ago. Okay, because I
Okay.
think Dota handles this appropriately, where like everybody has some amount of tankiness. Even the shitty support who's 5 levels behind does not instantly fucking die the second certain characters walk up to them. It's just not the way the game works, and unfortunately, League, you could be the same level as a fucking assassin, and if I'm an ADC, if they catch me anywhere, I'm gone, dude. I'm fucking blown up, dead. If they so happen to not kill me, they're dead. It's like that is the interaction, and there's nothing fun about that to me for either player. I know the assassins would disagree because they're the ones who control that situation, and they're the ones kind of with the agency there, where they're blowing the ADC up, and oh, that's fun for me. But it's like from the ADC's perspective, it's like just because I walk within ranged attack range of you and you jump on me, I'm instantly blown up and dead. That is not fun or strategic in any fucking way. There's
Yeah,
nothing like
I
so that design philosophy to me is wrong, like incorrect. I think that they need to pare that back, and they need to figure out how to get assassins to a place where they can be effective, where that isn't that primary goal of them, where they have to blow up one character, get out, wait for cooldowns, go back in, blow somebody else up. That's not an interactive. That's not very interactive in terms of
yeah,
design to me.
I mean, they did say that some of the assassins could build bruisers, so I think that's what a lot of assassins are gonna like. We may see a resurgence of
Make them
like,
scale a little bit,
yeah,
like
Blade of the
actually make
Room
them
King
scale.
Zed or something
Yeah.
like that.
Because in Dota, assassins in Dota scale. They are very fragile, but they scale. Like they are basically carries. Like I'm thinking of like Clinks, for example. I think they redesigned Clinks, but the way he used to work back in the day was he's a ranged skeleton. He shoots a bow, and he has an enhanced auto attack that does significant increased damage. And then he had an activatable attack speed enhancer like Tristana's, and he had an invis, so he could like turn
Okay,
himself invisible like Twitch. How OP does that sound?
I
That
mean, that
sounds
sounds
insane,
crazy.
right? That sounds
Yeah,
like if that was on a league champion, that character would dominate the fucking low elo meta. Like it would be in every fucking game, right? The character wasn't OP at all in Dota. Like he's super niche because like everybody's tanky enough where he can't kill you fast enough that you can't just go jump on him and kill him in response. So
yeah.
it was like he needed a significant farm lead, kill lead, gold lead in general to get to the point where he was oppressive. The other thing is invis characters in Dota aren't a problem as much because of you can just buy wards that can see invisible characters pretty much at any time. They cost gold, but there's no stock to them. They don't run out the way regular observer wards do, which are the same as the wards in regular wards in League.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy as many of them as you want as long as you have gold to do so. And then there's also Dust of Appearance in Dota. So it's like invis characters actually have counters in Dota, unlike League where they really don't.
They
Pink
don't.
wards are not an effective counter. So that's the issue. There's just certain design tenets that League has gotten to over the years where they've kind of painted themselves into a corner where everybody thinks assassins should be able to 100 to 0 a character, and what you like literally rolling their fingers across the keyboard once, to use all their abilities super fast. It's like that's so dumb. You can't react. There's no counterplay. It's just like you just die. I don't find that design space fun personally. I know everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, the ADC can just sit there in auto forever and kill the whole fucking team if nobody kills them." Yeah, of course, that's the fucking point. It still takes a minute to do, or 30 seconds. Like, you can react to it. You can attack the ADC. You can do things. You can move away from the ADC. Like, there is counterplay to that kind of damage. Like,
that's where like people think Zed is the problem. Like when you say assassins in League, people instantly go to Zed. I don't think Zed is an issue, right? I think in that 3 seconds I do my ult. Say like you have barrier you can do. If a Sona or somebody's around you, they can shield you. You have a lot of counter options to when I ult you, right? You can even get out of my ult by like just stepping back or flashing. You may take like, maybe like 100 damage or something like that, but it won't be like triple the damage I would have done if I landed my whole combo on you and you got out of it. Or even like somebody like a Kali, right? Like I have to jump on you, I have to E you, then I have to do my R once, wait 2.5 seconds, which is the fucking dumbest thing, and then do it again and do my secondary R on you or whatever. Katarina, her daggers have to be in a really good spot to do it. She has to kind of sacrifice herself. The problem I have is Rengar. There is zero counterplay to Rengar at all. Even August. Right, August said that. He's like, there is no counterplay. Like, even like Kha'Zix, you can see him coming, right? You can see him jump on you or whatever the case may be. Kane, you have a visual cue that he's about to come at you. Pike, cue something he's about to come at you. Rengar, you have a visual cue. It doesn't matter. Like,
I'm still going to jump. See the visual cue, you're dead. Like, dude, no. Remember that game? This was like last week, I think, where we had there was a Rengar in the enemy team, and he was having a horrible game. He was like 3-10 or something. But remember, like, I was having a good game, and so I'm like ahead of him. You're right. Like, I have way more gold than this guy, I have way more items, but he continually targeted me every single fucking fight. Specifically, just moved around to get to me, which is, I guess, technically what he's supposed to do, right? That's the whole point of the assassins, right? But he's literally like an item or two behind me, and he is still 100-0 killing me before I can even fucking react. Like,
well, I think the problem is too, even if Rengar gets ahead, like in that scenario, someone can say like he earned that, right? Because he got behind you and the team wasn't looking at it. So somebody could say like, okay, he earned that kill. My problem is, say like you're going back to the lane, you're like level 6 or level 7. You're still kind of like in the laning phase, and you're running from lane to the tower. He's just camping in the bush there.
Yeah,
instantly kills you right
you're
there.
Dead. No, that's what I'm talking about, though. You're right. What I just said is definitely like props, right? There's some skill to what he was doing, right? He had to position himself in the right way to not be seen and avoid the fight and get to me, right? But yeah, what you're saying is exactly what I'm talking about too. If I decide to go ward like the enemy try on the bot lane, for instance, right, and the assassin on the enemy team just happens to be there because they were about to gank or something, it's like, dude, you're dead because you walked up to the bush. Like, there's no, like, it's not fun. That's not interesting. It's just, I don't know. All right, we've been going on for 38 minutes on League. We gotta move on here. So hello everybody, welcome to the Players Take. This is episode 288. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined by my co-host Montrell Rice. As you can tell, we love League of Legends. We talk about it pretty much every fucking week. But this patch that's coming out is a huge change in the game, like probably the biggest we've seen besides maybe the mythic item change, but I actually think it's more significant than that one, even, frankly. So
yeah, I think this is what they meant to do after they got rid of the mythic items.
I think so too. So yeah, let me get through the rigmarole. We'll get into the rest of the show proper here. So for those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and your other podcast app of your choice, your favorite podcast app of your choice. Fucking up the rigmarole. If you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter at The Players Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. All right, Montrell, besides League of Legends, what have you been playing this week?
So I don't know. Was it this week? I told you I finished Wukong, or was it last week?
You didn't talk. Yeah, you told us in Discord that you finished it. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I finished Wukong. I'm in New Game Plus, which is significantly more easier and actually more fun. Um, come to find out, I missed like maybe 10 bosses, maybe 15, 10 to 15
Whoa,
extra
what?
bosses.
Holy,
Yeah, there.
how's that even possible?
I don't even know. Like, there's so many damn bosses in this game. So, yeah. So I'm going to play New Game Plus and get those bosses. Also, there's a New Game Plus Plus or New Game plus times 2, and then New Game Plus times 3. Once you beat New Game Plus times 3, you get this. You unlock something special or whatever. Or whatever the case. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Oh, so you're going all the way. You're gonna do
I'm not
3
doing. I'm
playthroughs.
not doing. I'm not
Okay,
doing 3.
you're not
I was
doing.
gonna try
Okay,
to platinum this game, but
yeah.
if I'm looking through the platinum list, and if I have to do that shit, I'm not doing that shit. That's crazy to me. Because the game is super hard. I heard like New Game Plus 1 is really easy, which it is, and then plus 2 is okay, but then plus 3, I think all the bosses, damn near one shot you. And that's not fun
Yeah.
at all, in my opinion. Because this is not like a Devil May Cry game. I, I just don't feel like the game gives you enough tools to do what they want you to do or what they think they want you to do. But I mean, it's been done. People have done it and everything like that. They're psychopaths, in my
It's a
opinion.
skill issue.
Yeah, it
That's
is
what
a
it
skill
is.
issue, and I'm not the skilled. I'm not the best skilled person, so
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
admit defeat on that one. As far as this game, I will say this game pushed me to the brink. I haven't been pushed to the brink like this since like maybe Sekiro. Like not even Elden Ring's bosses gave me this much uh of a
Interesting.
rise.
You're making me want to play this.
I haven't broken. I haven't broken. The last game I actually broken the controller over was Sekiro. I didn't break the controller over.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't break the
Man, I
controller
didn't.
over.
I didn't. I didn't. I don't even think I had that much trouble with Sekiro to that
Yeah,
point where I was that frustrated. Like,
yeah, I remember it. I broke my controller over the last boss fight, and my wife woke up. Well, she wasn't my wife then, but she
man,
woke
that's
up and
so
was like,
fucking funny, dude. I think I beat Ishin in 5 attempts or something like that. I had way more trouble with Owl 2 than I did Ishin.
"Oh yeah, Owl was a big issue for me. Owl
Yeah.
his second phase was like really crazy
Yes,
for me.
his second time you fight him.
Yeah, he was like really crazy for me. But yeah, it was either one of them. I know it was an old guy, so I can't remember. But I remember being in my room and I threw it because it was the room was all wood, and I well not all wood, but the floors were wood, and I threw the controller, and it was super fucking loud because the room was like had tall ceilings, so it was like echoing when I threw the controller.
I love it. Were you living with somebody at the time?
Yeah, I was living with my wife at the time.
Oh, okay, okay. Was she asleep? Did you like jar her awake? Like
it was 2 in the morning.
oh my god, bro! Oh my god!
It was 2 in the morning. That's why she came in here. She's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "My bad." And I think that's why I was so frustrated because I was tired
The
too.
house is getting fucking robbed or something. Like
Yeah. So, but this one, it was pure daylight. I was woke of mind and sound, and the last boss, bro. Oh my god, the last boss broke me. I literally broke my controller over him. No, it wasn't the last boss. It was it wasn't. It was the Yaksha King. I broke my controller over him. The last boss actually didn't make me break my controller. He was just very frustrating to play against. But yeah, I beat the Yaksha King or whatever. I think he's like in the 5th chapter or some shit like that. And he was actually my most frustrating boss to fight. Because the game has really great boss fights, but it's also a lot of bullshit. And if people don't say that, they are really just dick riding this game. These bosses in this game have some of the most bullshit moves that a player cannot predict. I already talked about it last week. I ain't gonna go harp on it, but it is. I do like the last boss though, because there are certain moments where you like try to heal yourself, and they kind of turn that and flip it on his head, and like he will actually stop you from healing in like a very taunting way. So I don't want to give the boss away because like it will kind of ruin the game for a lot of people. So yeah, but yeah, he was frustrating. It took me 2 days to beat him. I had to take 1 day just to study his moves, and then the next day I actually took a break from the game, and then the next day I came back and I beat him, and I was like, I was like, yes, like I was physically jumping out my chair like, yes, I'm fucking beat him. Fuck you. Like,
The last time I did that was fucking Balteus from Armored Core 6, dude. That thing was fucking horrifying. Oh my god.
And they nerfed him after that, right?
Oh my god, I beat him pre-nerf, everybody. I just want to say that. I beat him pre-nerf and it was a fucking beating. God, I didn't get filtered by him though. I got filtered later by the non-boss enemy that has the plasma shield, I think, or whatever. You remember that mission?
And the two enemies on the side of
two
him?
of them, yeah. I got filtered by that later on. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I did mention that too. I was like, yeah, he's
I know, I
him
remember. And, dude, I totally got filtered by that mission. I did it once. I was like, fuck this bullshit. I'm done. I'm not playing this again. Like, I'm done. You do that whole mission and then they ambush you with this bullshit enemy that's harder than the bosses
because you can't
are.
heal in that mission at all.
Yeah, you can't. Oh, yeah, that's right. You can't heal either. Yeah.
Or no, you can't. There's not like a station.
There's no supply. There's no supply drop.
Yeah, there's no supply drop. So you got to do that whole thing like perfectly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the game's really cool. Yeah, it's just some of the bosses are bullshit. I will say that going into it, and I'm not frustrated this time. And even on my second attempt, some of the bosses are bullshit. I mean, you go to the Reddit, people will agree with you. Like, some of the bosses are bullshit. There's one boss in particular, like I said, the cutscene damage boss that you can't dodge, it's undodgeable. It's scripted in the game. That's gonna happen to you. Like, you can't skip that. I don't think that's fair to the player. So I think it's almost virtually impossible to do a no damage run in this game, in my opinion, unless like they count that as like scripted damage or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I've been playing Warhammer 40K Space Marine. So this game's it's okay. It's like a solid
Space Marine 2.
Right? Space Marine 2, I'm sorry. It's okay. It's a solid like 8. I think this game would be a lot more fun with friends, but even then, I feel like you have to make your own fun with it as well.
Okay.
They have the campaign, the main campaign, and then they have these things called operations, which weave in and out of the campaign. So like your main character may need to do something, and then he'll give a squad. He'll like, hey, you three, I need you to go sabotage this part of the base. And you and other players will actually play that mission to go sabotage that other part of the base, if that makes any sense. And then you can once you do that operation, I believe, I don't know if it's in order or if you don't have to do it or not, but I did the operation and then I came back and did the mission that I'm supposed to do after they did their operation for said mission. So I think that's really cool that they weave it in and out. The game is like, it's fucking, you can tell playing this game, and obviously I played Space Marine 1 as well. Just in general, like the Warhammer 40K is what everybody gets their shit from. You see elements of StarCraft in it. Warcraft. Gears of War is like I get elements of Gears of War. Like Gears of War, I think pulled heavy from like not Space Marine in general, but just 40K in the universe. Because they do a lot. It's just like a fucking manly ass game. It's like, and you're fucking chopping shit up, but it's like also like an elegance, like an honor, like because they speak like high command. I am the one for you, and I'm honored to take this or whatever. So it's like you know how 40K is. So I think a lot of people.
I actually don't. The way people give D&D a lot of props for being the and in Lord of the Rings, I guess too, for being the kind of like thing everybody draws from for fantasy. I don't feel like 40K gets enough credit, or Warhammer in general gets enough credit for its influence over games and a lot of this stuff too. Yeah,
because you can definitely see like all those elements in this game. Like you can see the elements of like Halo, StarCraft.
Warcraft and StarCraft, to be frank, are like straight up ripoffs of Warhammer. Like I don't like Blizzard didn't even hide it back in the day. They talked about the influence. Like they were big fans of Warhammer. So but it's blatant when you put the two side by side, dude.
Yeah, and this game also, because you're fighting the I think they're called the Tyranids or the Tyranids.
Tyranids, yeah, they're Zerg, dude.
Yeah,
like
they're
Zerg.
They are essentially Zerg, and this game, while I love it, made me so mad at Blizzard at the same time because I'm like, you could have fucking did this with StarCraft. Like,
Yep.
why couldn't we have a StarCraft Space Marine? Like, you know, like why couldn't we do this?
A
Like,
horde shooter, dude, or something
yeah,
like you.
yeah,
Oh my god.
like why couldn't we have like a Helldiver style fucking StarCraft game
Yes.
or
Oh
whatever the
my
fuck?
god.
Man. Like,
Oh, these ideas are too good for Blizzard. What
yeah,
the
like so this is why I'm also upset when I'm playing this game. It's such a refreshing game just to play, and like the game is aware of what it is and it's just playing into it, and I love it. It's not trying to be anything else. It is Warhammer 40k, Space Marine, and
Yeah.
it understands that the audience is playing it for the action, so it drums up the action while also having a good story. And I don't know, man. I have no complaints about it. Like if you don't like 40k, then you're just not going to like this game, in my opinion. But if you like any of the games that I mentioned, like especially like Gears of War, StarCraft, Halo, Fallout, a little bit of Fallout in here, all that stuff like that. Like if you like any of those games, then you will love this game. In my opinion. Um, and if you want to wait for a price drop, that's totally doable because the campaign itself is only like 7 or 8 hours long, which for me, perfect. Thank you. I don't even care. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't played the multiplayer in. I played the multiplayer as far as PVE. I haven't played the PvP yet. So, but yeah, I think it's a good pickup. I'm glad I picked it up. I do recommend people if you want to wait for Black Friday this year, I don't recommend waiting next year. I think you guys should experience this game like soon. But I do if you want to wait for like Black Friday to pick it up. I think that's a decent pickup in my opinion.
Okay.
So the next game I'm also gonna put on here, and don't start geeking out, okay? Um, I downloaded Atelier Rising 3. Atelier
Oh
Rising 3.
shit! Okay.
And I'm going to be playing it on the trip. So I'm going to put it on my Switch and play it
Okay.
on the trip.
Wait, it's on Switch?
Yeah, it's on Switch.
When did it come out on Switch?
Like a year ago?
Oh, that's a great Switch game. It didn't come out at the same time though as the original game, right?
Oh, it didn't? Okay, I didn't know
don't think
that.
it did. Keep going.
It came out on, well, it said the initial date was March 22nd, but
Oh, that is the same. So it was on Switch? I thought it was just PlayStation. Okay, never mind.
yeah, so I'm really interested in this game because I saw the new gameplay for Atelier Rising 4, and I was like, holy shit. Or I
Wait, there's an Atelier Riser 4? What? What are you blowing my mind right now?
Well, I don't think it's called 4. I think it's called
Oh, it's just a new Atelier game.
Yeah, it's a new Atelier game.
Okay.
Fuck, I can't remember the name of it.
Hold on, I'm looking it up. Keep going.
Yeah. So I saw the gameplay for that.
Yumiya?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Okay.
So I looked at the gameplay for that and I was like, holy shit, this game was fucking dope as fuck. Then I saw the Atelier Rising 3 gameplay and I was like, this kind of looks like that. I'm gonna fucking play it. So yeah, I remember you talking about it a long time ago. And
well, it was last year. I played it last year. Dude, it's one of my favorite games of the year.
And the thing that turned me off about it was you said the crafting, because they had a lot of crafting components. I'm like, I'm not really big into crafting. But when I was looking at someone explain the crafting mechanics, and you were explaining it too, how it ties into the combat, I was like, okay, this actually makes me want to go out and explore and do better things and get more combos, get more AP points or whatever the points they call it, and everything like that. And
you are significantly rewarded in combat for investing in the crafting.
Okay.
Like you can make your characters so overpoweringly strong if you want to. But the other fun part about Atelier Rise of 3 from what I remember playing it is it has a very large party. You have a lot of characters in your party and they come in with absolute dog shit gear. So you have to gear all of them from scratch. Like the game doesn't, for the most part, you can't like go buy equipment in the game. Like you can't go buy a new sword. You can't go buy like a new, accessory or something or armor. Like you have to make everything your characters wear. So that puts a lot of agency in the player's hands to shape their own party, which is really cool. It's not just like Tales where you go to the next town and that has better equipment for you,
Yeah.
And I find that really refreshing in a JRPG. Personally.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the game looks really cool. So I bought it and I'm going to be playing it on my trip there and everything of that nature. It looks really cool, and I can't wait to play because I've been looking for another JRPG to play. Um, not to spoil, like, not to say I don't want to be a fucking fanboy and dick rider, but like, bro, ever since I played Xenoblade Chronicles 3, like nothing has satisfied the itch, bro. Like nothing. In this game,
uh,
I feel like it's gonna get close to it, not story wise or anything, but like just like systems and mechanic wise. I think
yeah, I
it's
think
gonna
it's
get there.
that's definitely where you're gonna find it. The gameplay, like the moment to moment control of the character and the combat itself, isn't like super. I don't know, like super engaging necessarily. It's not on par with Xenoblade by any stretch on those fronts, but in terms of mechanical systems within the game, it is definitely on par. It might even exceed Xenoblade on that front. So, um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be really curious to see what you think of the game actually.
Yeah, it looks like a
Because
really cool
yeah,
JRPG game
it's
to
very
play.
chill too. It's like the story's kind of wholesome. Like it's not very like chill, relaxing game. It'll probably give you that vibe of what you wanted out of like Harvestella or something like that, where
Okay.
you want like a JRPG where you're like farming or whatever. You know, it's like you're
Yeah,
kind of gonna get some of that from this game too.
yeah. So, um, yeah, I do recommend people go check out the Atelier Yumiya uh
Yeah, trailer.
gameplay. It looks really dope.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm surprised you didn't talk about this or hear that. See it. It
I
came up on
didn't.
my
Well, it came
it
from
came
the
up on my
Nintendo
news
Direct.
feed.
No, it
Okay.
came from the Nintendo Direct, and we didn't really cover anything from that. So I didn't realize it was damn, dude. And now I'm like looking at the gameplay right now. So no, this is exciting. This will be. I would have definitely put it on on the news if I'd seen it. So, but cool. You playing
yeah,
anything else?
that's it.
All right, fair enough. So what have I been playing? Vampire Survivors. I am done with this game. I got the platinum few days ago. And that's as far as I'm going with it. I don't really want to play it any more than that. I could get the DLCs. There's some DLCs for it, but I'm kind of done with it. I got my fill. And I was happy to get the platinum finally. I ended up, I think I got 151 or 152 of the trophies. So I got about 2/3 of the total trophy count that the game has. At some point, I wouldn't mind going back and maybe 100%ing it. But the problem with the game, this is the issue I have with 100%ing games on PlayStation, and this is probably true on Xbox as well, is whenever they add DLC, your 100% goes away. You have to go play the DLC and 100% that in order for you to get the game's overall 100% again. So it's
Mm,
not really worth it. This is a game that will probably have more DLC, and I'm just like, whatever. So I got the plat. I'm happy with it. It was a fun game. Definitely recommend it for $5. It'll get you, a few days of entertainment for sure at a minimum. And then Symphony of War, the Nephilim Saga, still playing this. I didn't make a huge amount of progress. I'm on chapter 26 of 35. So I have about 10 more chapters to go. The battles are starting to get very large, and that is making them take longer. So that's kind of why I'm slowing down a bit with the game. But now that I'm done with Vampire Survivors, I'm kind of planning to try to blow through this as fast as I can this weekend. And finish it off. Not really having any issues with it. The battles are like fucking like a joke at this point. I'm just like obliterating them. So, but still recommend the game for sure. The gameplay is very fun, but I will say the story is just such nonsense. Like it's become so stupid. The dialogue is so bad, dude. In the game, but still a fun game overall as well. I definitely recommend it. And then the last thing I've been playing, I didn't play this very much, but I'm kind of thinking I might start to jump back into it as Warcraft 3. So I got hooked into, so there's a whole story to this. So
I'm
there was
assuming you
a,
saw the Tyler one
well, yeah.
tournament.
Did you ever watch that? So
Yeah, I
did you already
watched it.
watch that? You already
Yeah,
knew about it before I sent it to you guys.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So did you actually watch the whole thing, all three
I
games?
didn't watch the whole thing. I watched half of it, but
Oh my god, you gotta
I
watch the
watched his
rest of it,
I watched his
dude.
YouTube stream or his YouTube like
Yeah.
compilate or whatever. He put his stuff on YouTube, and he was talking
Hmm.
about it on. He was talking about the preparation for it
Yeah.
while he was playing League of Legends, and people were like, "What's Warcraft?" All his fucking viewers are young as fuck, bro. They're like,
Oh my
"What's
god.
Warcraft 3?"
Of course. Yeah.
So
Well, they're idiots, but no, that tournament. So I watched that tournament, and it was hilarious. Like it was so fucking fun to watch because it is so funny to watch pro level like league streamers go play Warcraft 3 and be so bad that I actually think I could beat them, you know? Like it was hilarious to watch. So funny to watch. So that got me into, but it was funny because he invited someone named Grubby, and Soda Poppin was the other one who's a streamer, but Grubby was a pro orc player for a long time back in the game's main kind of lifespan from like 2003 to 2010 or so. And he was one of the best players in the world at that period of time. And he won many tournaments. Like he was super good. But he's been streaming and mostly streaming since he stopped playing professionally in Warcraft 3. And he still streams Warcraft 3 to this day. And he's actually got a surprisingly large channel for that, for what you think that is. Dude, he has like 310,000 subscribers or something like that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, that's crazy. But I think the reason why is he's really well spoken. He's a really wholesome dude. He's actually pretty funny. And he approaches content in a very honest way. Like he's not trying to like, generally not trying to like bait people and stuff. So he was casting those show matches though with Soda Poppin', and it was really funny to watch. So I started watching his channel, Grubby's channel, a little bit, and like he's doing all these like tier lists of the game, like the heroes and the units and all this shit. And I started watching all this stuff. And he has a ton of content about Warcraft 3, which is crazy. I don't understand how he continues to like pump shit out about it. But that got me to like want to play the game myself again. So I actually booted it up 2 days ago, I think on Tuesday, and I played like one game against like easy AI just to like get myself like, refamiliarized with the mechanics and everything in the game. And I'm like, man, I fucking miss this game, bro, so much. Like I'm such a different person than I was back when this game came out and I was playing it, like playing it online and doing ladder and stuff. And I'm like, man, I almost feel like I could be better at the game now than I was back then, because I feel like I'm a smarter person. I'm more intelligent. I understand like how to do this shit more now. So I'm like, I almost want to like get back into it and kind of learn it and play it a little bit. I'm not sure I'm really gonna do it because it would be time consuming for sure. But at the same time, there's like a nostalgia I have for Warcraft 3, and actually Reforged is in a place now where the game with the classic graphics is actually very playable. It's not like broken the way it was a few years ago when it came out.
Okay.
So it's actually like mostly in a repaired state. Actually, hilariously enough, a lot of it's thanks to Grubby. Like given Blizzard a ton of feedback since it came out. Like even pre-release, they were in contact with him, like trying to get feedback from him and stuff. And he has a video about some communication he had with them. Dude, they were asking him to give them feedback on the new icon designs, like all of them for every item and ability in the game. And he was like, no, I don't work for you. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's how understaffed they were on that team. Like, that's how bad it was. So that kind of paints a picture about what happened with the game, even though we kind of already knew. But watching him has kind of made me want to get back into the game. And frankly, if we ever get tired of League, I really do think Warcraft 3 would be a really fun game for us to play multiplayer. Because not only could we play against each other, but we could actually go 4v4 online, or 3v3, like 2v2 if there's only two of us. Like there's modes for every number of players up to 4, basically.
Well, does Warcraft have the same level of macro as like StarCraft? That's a little bit too much for me. That's the part I get scared of.
No. So this is the thing I've always tried to explain when I talk about Warcraft 3 and why I love it more than StarCraft. StarCraft's an excellent game, but StarCraft's a very one-dimensional RTS. It's all macro, pretty much. Especially StarCraft 1. Micro in StarCraft 1 was really hard to pull off. The game is just not precise enough. Movement is not precise enough. The speed of your clicking, like units reacting to your clicking, is generally not fast enough. Obviously, for the highest level players in the world, that's not true. But for lower level play, I never felt like micro was very important in StarCraft. Warcraft 3 is the complete opposite of that in the sense that micro is the game for the most part. That's the reason I fell in love with it, and that's the reason Dota spawned out of Warcraft, because the game was built around that idea of control, unit control, and movement. It's not perfect, right? There's still this weird kind of quirks with the game engine and stuff that you kind of have to micro around, but they actually kind of enhance the skill level you like Like if you're better at controlling the units, it really shows in Warcraft 3.
Hmm.
So Warcraft 3 is kind of half and half, micro macro. Macro is important. It's definitely important. You can't ignore it. However, your execution in a fight with your opponent is more important than anything. If you can out micro them, you're probably going to win more often than not at lower levels of play.
Okay.
That is the kind of the key thing. Whereas in StarCraft, you kind of make your army and you throw it at your opponent. You know, whoever wins wins a lot of the time. Obviously, the strategy involved, where you attack, when you attack, what you're attacking with, those kind of things. But those are strategical decisions. Those aren't micro. Micro is literally you controlling your units in the middle of a fight, like moving them out of the way of things, getting out of AOE's, avoiding attacks, you know, getting low health enemies out of the battle so they don't die, things like that. That is a lot more important in Warcraft 3 than it is in StarCraft. That's why I love the game. So yeah, for somebody like you who plays League, I think Warcraft 3 would be it would definitely be harder for you to learn and play. Warcraft 3 is much harder to play effectively than League is. Like it's not even close. So, like League players would probably disagree, but dude, it's like you're controlling one thing versus potentially 100, you know, and a base
Yeah.
and units and fucking builders. You know, you're trying to research shit, you're scouting, you're doing all the shit, you're trying to get map control. It's like you don't in League, it's like you're controlling one character. It's like the micro is very honed in on that one thing. Dota's the same way, pretty much. Like it's the same thing there too. I think Warcraft 3 is much harder to play than those games at a high level, in fact. But yeah, I do think like, dude, 4v4 for us would be fucking awesome. It'd be hilarious. I love 4v4. It's such a fucking insane game mode. It was one of my favorite things to play back in the day. I used to play it with randos because it's just like, dude, it's huge armies of tier 1 units going at each other a lot of the time, and then it's like whoever can get flying units first like wins the game a lot of the time. It's just like dumb shit like that. But it's so fun. I love Warcraft 3. So I don't know if you guys are ever down. I'm down to play. Like I'm down to teach you guys as much as I know. And like, you know, get into it casually. We don't need to like get serious about it or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think it would be fun to do like free for alls against each other or play ladder a little bit, like, you know, 3v3 or 4v4, 2v2, and whatnot. But in terms of, because there's 4 races in the game: undead, night elf, orc, and human. I think you're an orc player for sure, like almost no question. They have the coolest hero in the game, the Blade Master. He is an agility hero that can go invisible. He has critical strike. He has an ability called Mirror Image where he splits himself and makes illusions of himself.
Ooh. Okay.
And then
Yeah.
his ultimate is Blade Storm, where he spins in a circle. It spins his blade in a circle and does damage to everything around him. And he becomes magic immune. Like he's a badass hero. He's my favorite hero in the game for sure. But it's where a lot of like Warcraft, you're gonna play the game too, by the way, and you're gonna see a lot of champion designs that came out of these heroes that were in Warcraft 3.
Hmm.
They started this whole trend with MOBAs, like they really did back in the day. So I think you're an orc player for sure. I think Jet's an undead player, no question. I will play probably anything. I liked all 4 races. I will say Night Elf was always the one I sucked with the most. As much as I didn't want that to be true, it always has been true. And then yeah, Brad, if he played with us, I think he would be a human player or a Night Elf player probably. Um, I don't know what he would necessarily lean in either one of those, but I think he'd want. I don't know. I can't read him sometimes, so I'm not sure 100%. But I think it'd be one of those two for sure. So I think it'd be fun. Orc would be a lot of fun with you for you because they're the kind of brute force race in a lot of ways. Like they have like the hardiest units. They have some of the best like spellcasters and stuff. But they're not as like agile per se as some of the other races. You know, they don't have like there's some niches that they can't fill that the other races fill.
Hmm.
So they're very interesting in that regard. But yeah, so yeah, Warcraft 3. Played one game, might play a little bit more this weekend or something. Just try it out. Maybe I'll stream it or something, so you can see the game and see if you'd be interested.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a good idea.
yeah. So, okay, cool. All right, let's get into the news, Montreal. We got a ton of news to get through this week. So, biggest thing that happened this week: Sony finally fucking revealed the PS5 Pro. We've known about it. We've known it's been real for a while. They finally revealed it. It was like a 9-minute video. Mark Cerny talked about it. I'm just gonna hit the key points here off their blog post. Is upgraded GPU is the first thing they list. The GPU is going to have 67 more. This is their words. I'm just going to read their words. Quote, with PS5 Pro, we are upgrading to a GPU that is 67% more compute units than the current PS5 console and 28% faster memory. Overall, this enables up to 45% faster rendering for gameplay, making the experience much smoother. Advanced ray tracing. We've added even more powerful ray tracing that provides more dynamic reflection and refraction of light. This allows the rays to be cast at double and at times triple the speeds of the current PS5 console. AI-driven upscaling. We're also introducing PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, PSSR, an AI-driven upscaling that uses a machine learning-based technology to provide super sharp image clarity by adding an extraordinary amount of detail. End quote. Other things with this, it's going to have a 2 terabyte SSD, no disk drive. You will be able to buy the current separate disk drive and use it with the console, however. And then pricing is going to be $699 in the US, 799 euros in Europe, and then 120,000 yen in Japan, basically. And it's going to launch on November 7th this year. It'll be at retail. You'll be able to get it through PS Direct as well. And that's pretty much the gist of it. So, Montrell, give me your first impressions of PS5 Pro.
So I'm gonna go by how I read the article, and I was actually super excited because I actually think it could use a GPU upgrade. I do like the advanced ray tracing. I think a lot of games will take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Especially some of their first party studios.
Yeah.
And contrary to popular belief, I actually do think AI driven upscaling is okay. There are some videos on YouTube that show AI upscaling. It's not as far as like graphics, but like, animation and stuff like that and everything of that nature. And some of it looks good and some of it looks bad. But when it's worked into the art very well, it looks really, really good. And I think the AI stuff is really cool as far as that. And I think this is what I'm talking about when AI and gaming. I want it to do stuff like this. I think that's very fucking cool. How it's enhancing what maybe the intended artist may have wanted or whatever the case may be. I think everything is cool. I think the hardware. I don't like the disc thing. But I do like that it's compatible with the disk drive that's already available. Which is actually sold out now, guys. You can't buy it because I'll get to that later why you can't buy it. Then we get down to the price, and this is where I say no, thank you. I think $700 for upgrade is insane. That's just my opinion. I know the PS5 didn't that really. It was $599. PS3, I'm sorry. PS3 was $599.
So PS3 was $599.99.
Okay.
That was the meme back then. However, that was 20 years ago, which actually probably, which makes that one worse in retrospect because in inflation terms, like that's probably like $900 now or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I think this price for an upgrade, I would say a 50% upgrade, 45 to 50% upgrade from your current PS5. If you already have a PS5, this is not worth it, in my opinion. Especially if you have the disc version. Both me and you have the disc version.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the digital version, I can see the argument for it. I can see you arguing like I should just get this and get this drive or whatever the case may be, and then sell my original PS5.
Well, don't get the disc drive, right? If you're on the digital now.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, don't get a disc drive.
Then the upgrade makes more sense for you.
The upgrade makes more sense for you. If you don't have a PS5 at all, I think this is a great buy. The only problem is if you have old PS4 games that are physical, you will have to buy the disc drive. But a lot of people are buying it not for the PS4 games, but the PS5 games. So in that sense, I don't think it's an issue. I think it is a bit much though in this economy, the way it is right now, uh, to ask for $700. I think it's a bit bold. I
Mm,
think it's a bit Apple-ish. Like
mhm.
when I say Apple, I mean like the actual company Apple. I think this is a bit Apple-ish. Um, there should be a version where the disk drive comes in for an extra $50 more, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah,
Um, even not like built into the machine, but like you actually get the physical disk drive next to it or whatever for like $50 or more, or whatever.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I just I don't like that at all. Like all you're getting is this, and
Mhm.
I don't think enough games will be taking advantage of the technology. And even when they tried to show, if you watch the showcase, they tried to show the clarity and stuff like that. And there is a little bit of a difference, but like not to enough where I'm like, oh my god, this is PS1 to PS2 graphics. It's not like nothing like
Mhm.
that. In
Well,
my
I mean,
opinion,
it's never gonna be like that
yeah, it's never going to be like that
anymore.
ever
Yeah,
again. But like
yeah.
that's what I for the price that they're saying, that's what I expect, right? Like not that's what I expect, but that's what they're trying to convince us. And I just don't feel like that is viable. I feel like $600 would have been okay. I would have upgraded for $600. Um but 700 is like a bridge too far for
Well,
me.
that's
Like
new. That's dude. This is history. I mean, I guess it's not history technically. There have been consoles that have been priced this high, but you'd have to go back to like I think the 3DO to
yeah.
get something that high. I don't remember what the original Atari was, but I'm pretty sure it was very expensive as well. I mean, we're talking back in like the 70s, 80s though, which is
Yeah.
insane to think about back then. In terms of cost. But in the modern era, I'd say since like 1990, this is what pretty much history. It's been a very long time since a console was priced this high. But um, I'm of two minds with this one. I'm not. I wanted a PS5 Pro, but the price is definitely turning me off personally. I'm not sure I care enough to do this, especially with what is probably going to be the PS6 coming out in what will be 3 years. So I need to make a decision. If I'm going to do this upgrade, I need to do it basically now because the longer I wait, the less it makes sense to do.
Yeah.
Because you might as well just wait till for PS6, which is the questionable part about this mid gen upgrade, anyways. But I think the thing with this is that I don't think their goal is to sell these like they're selling PS5s. Like they're gonna they're not gonna sell a ton of these. Like I would be surprised if they're selling 10 million. Like they're not gonna sell 10 million of these things, at least in the short term. Maybe over the next 3 years they'll get up that high, but like initially, they probably have an initial stock, and I'm sure they'll sell through it pretty quickly. But that will probably be a million or less, I would think, or maybe
Yeah.
up to 2 million. It's not going to be that many units. So this is a high end product that I think they're really targeting it at the PlayStation hardcore. And I don't have a problem with it. It's not like the PS5 still exists. It's not like your games aren't going to be able to be played on the PS5. That's why everybody's freaking out about this and losing their mind. It's like, dude, just don't fucking buy it. Like, who cares? It's not that big of a deal. It exists. It's like the Xbox Series S on the other side of the spectrum, where that thing is almost offensive in the sense of it how powerless it is. It's
Yeah.
like, but who cares? You don't have to buy it. You can buy the X. It's like whatever, dude. Um, Frankly, I actually think the opposite's true with the Xbox, where that thing is affecting games, in terms of how powerful they like how high their fidelity is and stuff like that, because they need to be played on the S. Like famously, Baldur's Gate 3 wasn't coming to Xbox because they couldn't get it to work on the fucking S. And
Yeah.
shit like that. So I think on this side of the spectrum, like, dude, it's just a high end product that's priced towards high end, very hardcore PlayStation fans. So um, I would probably consider myself in that category. I
I
just don't know
would
if I
too.
value graphics
If
enough to care. Right?
yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I was gonna say like I do too. That's what I was gonna say is
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
consider myself the hardcore gamer like you do, and
Yeah.
um
I was
even though
hoping.
even though
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
didn't upgrade to the PS4 Pro,
I did.
um yeah, I
But
know you did.
that one was costed very differently, right? The PS like we have to remember the context for this, right? The PS4 at that point in time, you can get it for $200, and the PS4 Pro was 400. It wasn't that significant of a difference. So that was the reason I got it. I sold my PS4 for, I think I sold it for like $300 or something, and I bought a
Yeah, you sold
PS4
it for
Pro for
something
400.
super cheap. Yeah,
Yeah, and I basically spent $100 out of pocket to upgrade to the Pro on PS4.
yeah.
And that was worth it to me. In this case, if I sell my PS5 now, I mean, I might be lucky to get 350 for it, I would think, probably.
But see, I think
Um,
that's the problem. I think the problem
yeah,
is, like you said, the scenarios are different, right? You can buy a PS4 for 200, or let's just say 250 for the sake of argument, or 300 or whatever for the sake of argument. Um, Now you can buy the PS4 for 399, I think it is. The
you mean the
refurbished version.
PS5?
The PS5, I'm sorry. Yeah, the
Yeah,
PS5 for 399. I think that price needs to come down, and then you can justify $500 or $600. And I think the PS4 or the PS5 Pro rather, needs to be priced at 550 or 650. I can give
yeah.
you 650 for it. It's just the 700. It looks really crazy in my bank account. Like, I and
Well,
like
it's
not to
that
say that
compounded with the disk drive, dude. Because
exactly. Yeah,
if I buy this thing and I sell my current PS5, I can't play any of the games I own unless I buy the disc drive. Like I own a
exactly.
ton of physical PS5 games. So that's the conundrum for me. It's not just the price, it's that part of it as well. The investment I made is out the window unless I spend another basically $100. So you're turning it into an $800 console for me. And that's where the issue is lying, is that they're not putting the disc drive in. That is a Sony Apple move. To me, they could definitely put the disc drive in. There's very little justification for them not doing that. Disc drive costs them probably $3 to make or less. Probably it's not a high end electronic at this point. And so I that part frustrates me a little bit, that they are pulling that out to make us who want to upgrade buy that as well. And that's going to be the main barrier for me. So that's the frustrating piece. But um, so I
Yeah,
think I think at a raw, like if you're looking at the raw performance they're promising, though, I think the upgrade is worth it. The idea that you're going to get the best of performance and fidelity mode in every game is, if that actually happens, like that actually comes to fruition, that is a massive upgrade. You're
yeah. So
doubling the performance of the console, basically.
yeah, and that's why I think like it's a good. As I said in the text messages, I think it's a good next year buy, because I
Yeah,
do want to see proof first. I want to see like the first wave come out.
I agree.
I want to see people play.
Patches for all the first party games, third
Yep.
party stuff, the big
I,
third party stuff. Yeah.
I want to see people play God of War Ragnarok in fidelity
Yep.
mode, but playing at
Yep.
60 frames and stuff like
Yep.
that. I
Oh
want
my
to see,
god. Can you imagine Horizon, dude? Oh my god.
yeah, like a
Holy
Last of Us
shit.
2 or something like that. Like I want to see
Yeah.
this shit. Um, so I agree with that, and that's why I say it's a next year buy. The problem is now too as well. Are we still going to have this disc? Because now, if you look online right now, believe you can probably buy it from the only place you can buy it from is from the direct Sony PlayStation Store. But disc drives everywhere are sold out. Now scalpers are scalping that instead of the actual console themselves.
Fucking Christ, dude.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're going for like $200, 250 on eBay
That's
right now.
insane. That is insane.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
So that's the second part I wanted to bring to this attention, where I think Sony did not learn from the scalping situation. Whereas I
Right.
feel like Nintendo, they actually came out and said that they learned from this situation, or the scalping situation, whenever they released their new console, whatever the case may be. But Sony didn't, and I don't think they care, to be honest with you. So that's another issue I kind of have with this as well. I still think the price is too high, even though I think the value. I think the console is bringing great things, like 50% more power and everything. I still think it should be priced at like a reasonable $600. I
Yeah.
think the reason why it's not priced at $600 is because Xbox has nothing to compete with it. So there's no competition right now. So they
Yeah.
can do whatever the
Well,
fuck they want to do.
I think that's true to a degree, but I also think that this might just be a reality we all need to start kind of coming around to, man. Like, is this might be the price of the next console for both of these companies. I think the idea that we're going to get a $400 console that's more powerful than the PS5 Pro is maybe naive. Like the price of these parts is not going down, and there was inflation that happened, and dude, the thing I wanted to point out here is the pricing in other countries that they mentioned is the 120,000 yen, dude. The yen situation is fucking dire. The fact that they decided to price it that high, so 120,000 yen to US dollars is 849 US dollars. So
Jesus.
that's yeah, so that the equivalent of it, they're charging $849 in Japan basically. And in Europe, it's even worse. $700 to euros is 631 euros. So let me do 800 euros to US dollars. What is that? 886 US dollar equivalent is what they're charging in Europe. So it's even worse. We're on the lucky end here. In the United States. So the situation with currency right now is actually a very real thing that I think is impacting this as well. I think Sony is anticipating, I think they're pricing it this way, anticipating that this is going to get worse, and they want to price it high now so that they're not screwing themselves in a year or two, when these currencies are worth even less, you know?
That makes sense. Um, I don't know. I mean, I agree with that. And maybe I can change my opinion, but it's just like just seeing
No, I
it
don't
on
think anything
paper.
you're saying is wrong. I really
Yeah,
don't think anything you're saying is wrong. I'm just trying to take it from the perspective of
yeah, from the
um
business side of things,
business
and
side of it, from Sony's perspective, right? Like, because
yeah,
their profits are good, but they're not like, like they want it to be higher. They're like the point is growth, right? It's always growth, 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 and Sony is growing, but they're trying to, I think, with this kind of pricing, is really like insulate and make sure that growth can continue. That they're not selling these at a loss in a year or two.
well, this is
Um,
the running joke was that they're trying to make up for their loss of Concord.
I don't know if they're gonna do that anytime soon. Oh,
Yeah,
yikes. So I don't know. It's interesting. I do think though. I think I want to go back to my point real quick about this maybe being the window into the future of console hardware. Is with how much power is being packed into these things now. Like, dude, PS5 Pro is going to be a very powerful machine. Like I don't think it's possible for you to make a PC as powerful as it for the same price. Like, I don't even think it's even remotely close to possible. Um, because so it's just like, given that it is a good deal for the price, yes, it's heavily proprietary, but that doesn't matter to gamer consumers, right? Like
yeah,
it only matters to the people making games, which are, developers. So in that sense, like it's definitely a deal if you want to play video games, Um, so I don't know. I'm not like, I don't necessarily support the thing. I'm not like super crazy about it. I'm not in love with the price either. I don't think it's great. But at the same time, I understand where Sony's coming from. But I also, like, I think people also just need to realize, like, not every product is targeted at you specifically.
yeah.
um it doesn't have to be that way, and it isn't always that way. Um nobody like Apple fucking comes up with a $3,500 augmented reality headset that was not targeted at the people buying iPhones, necessarily. So it's and yeah, they were made fun of for that, maybe justifiably so. But companies do this kind of thing all the time. They have ranges of products that have ranges of prices. And maybe it pisses people off because PlayStation is so kind of dense in its product line. Like, there isn't a lot of different products you can buy. So I think people feel like they're being left out in the cold, I guess, per se. In the sense that, like, I'm a hardcore PlayStation fan, but I can't afford spending $800 on a PS5 Pro plus a disc drive. So I feel like they're excluding me, and I understand that feeling. It's like I totally get that, but at the same time, it's like, um, if they compromised on the power, then what would there be a point to the upgrade at that point? Um, because I do feel like the PS4 Pro, in comparison, was not really a worthwhile upgrade. Like, I had it, I didn't really see much of a difference in the console's performance personally, in terms of load times or game fidelity or anything like that. Like, it wasn't a huge upgrade. So, you know, in this case, I actually think they may have justified it, but we need to see it play out. Like you said, we need to see the games after this thing comes out that are patched day one and how they perform. Like, dude, if they're running 60 frames per second on fidelity mode, like they're actually pulling that off in every game, then this thing is probably worth it to me. So
Yeah, and that's why I said it's like a next year buy for me. Like, I think no matter what goes on, like I'm just gonna buy it next year and take it from there. To be honest with you.
Yep, makes sense. Anything else you want to say on this thing?
No, I thought I had some more thoughts on it, but I think we covered everything.
I thought I did too, but we kind of got through it pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
okay.
I don't know. You made a lot of sense when you were saying like business wise why they're doing this and everything like that.
Yeah,
and I think I just got to get used to the fact that this isn't the 1950s anymore, Bucko. We can't buy can't go down to the soda shop and buy a fucking a burger
Coke for 5 cents. Yeah, 5-cent Coke, dude. Bottled Coke too, like glass bottle Coke for 5 cents. Can you imagine, dude? Oh my god, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Like, dude, those things are like $2 now. Like, you want a bottled Coke in glass?
Well, you remember you used to be able to go to the store. And I don't know, maybe it wasn't like this in Boston, but in Michigan, you used to go into the store. You used to be able to buy like 4 bags of Doritos, like the little small snack bags for
25 cents.
25 cents each.
25 cents. They were. It was printed on the bag. 25 cents.
And I remember people flipping out when they upped to 50 cents. I was like, this is crazy. Inflation is crazy.
Yeah, and now what is it now? $1.50?
$1.50 or something like that. It's crazy, man.
Oh my god, man. Our childhoods we had no idea. We didn't know, dude. We really didn't know. I remember when you would buy like a Snickers would be like $1 or like 75 cents or something.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, good luck, dude. So one more point on this, actually, to the last thing you were saying, is that I think even with like this pricing, and maybe if this is the future console pricing, is more in the $500-$600 range rather than the $400 to $500 range. Going forward, is I think we still need to understand and like recognize that gaming is still a relatively cheap hobby, relative to other hobbies that you can have. Like doing like physical hobbies, like sports or something like that. Those are very expensive hobbies to do. Even things like hiking. I'm sure there's gear you have to buy, or camping, things like that.
Bro. I would say, yeah, you're right. Because
being into guns,
but to say like to get an entry level gun, like I always recommend everybody to Palmetto State. So to get an entry level Glock 17 clone is gonna run you $350, and if you think that's a lot, you should see how much an actual Glock costs.
Well, that's without ammo too.
Yeah,
right?
That's without ammo.
Ammo, any attachments, a case, any of that stuff. And then the same thing with I was gonna mention Magic the Gathering too, right? Collectible card game. Yeah. Can you imagine, dude? The booster boxes for collector boosters for the new set coming out later this month are $230 for 12 booster packs of 15 cards. So yeah, the PlayStation 5 Pro being $700 is, given how much entertainment you can get out of it, is relatively cheap, definitely, compared to some of these other hobbies out there. Pokemon cards, fucking baseball cards, whatever you want to get into. So I still think gaming is one of the cheapest hobbies out there. And we definitely complain a lot about price, but I actually think these companies are really not pushing the price barrier as much as they could justify, realistically. So
yeah, I mean, I still think like even PC gaming is expensive. People want to say it's cheap, but I think I think getting a console is cheaper still. So I saw that argument on, like, we do this every fucking time, bro. You remember like when the Xbox series, or not the Xbox series, Xbox One came out and then the PS4 came out, people were like, just buy a PC, bro. And a lot of people did convert over to PC, but the market still wasn't as big as console though. And now people are doing it again. They're like, just buy a PC, bro. And it's like, to update my graphics card, $400-$500. That's a console. Like, to get a decent graphics card,
right?
A decent
well, if
CPU.
you don't have a PC, I'm just gonna list out all the things you need. Okay, you need monitors, you need a keyboard, you need a mouse, you need some kind of headset, more than likely. You need a desk to put it on, some kind of furniture to put it on. You need a case. You need case fans. You need a motherboard. You need a power supply. You need a graphics card. You need a CPU. You need memory. You need fuck, what else am I missing here? I feel like I'm forgetting one thing, one component. You might need a network card if
You
you're
have to
going to use it
buy.
on Wi-Fi.
You have to buy
Um,
Windows.
you got to buy Windows as well. You also still have to buy the games you want to play on said PC as well. So yeah, all those things together that I just listed. If you want a good gaming PC,
$1,500 minimum.
2000, 1500 to 2000 at a minimum, just to get something affordable. In what I'm saying, if you want something high end, good luck. You're spending $4,000 probably, or $5,000 for all that. For like a high end desk, high end PC, all the components are high end. You want high end monitors, you want a high end keyboard and mouse. I mean, dude, you're talking every component is going to be hundreds of dollars. So
Yeah, you
good
want that
luck.
ray tracing and everything that everyone else is
4K.
doing.
Oh my god, dude, 4K monitors are insane,
Yeah,
dude.
you
That
can't
have
you can't use a TV. You have to get a
nope,
monitor.
absolutely not. They don't have the refresh rates required for playing PC games necessarily. Especially at a high frame rate. The refresh rates on TVs are much lower than monitors generally, which is the key thing that is why your frame rates can be so high on PC, because your refresh rate is like 144 hertz or something like that, or 200 hertz, on a lot of monitors. Getting a high refresh rate 4K monitor is still costs you like $1,000 for like a 27-inch, so, or like a 33-inch or 34-inch. So good luck getting an affordable PC that has comparable power to a PlayStation 5, or PlayStation 5 Pro, especially at this point. So, all right, Montrell, let's move on to our next story, which is kind of three stories in one. I'm gonna put these all together. Basically, is we have a bunch of layoffs in the game industry again. 650 staff from Microsoft are being laid off. Phil Spencer sent a memo to staff that was kind of leaked, which is why we found out about this. But there was a couple quotes in here. It's mostly corporate and support functions. The layoffs were made to organize our business for long-term success, quote unquote. He said no games, devices, or experiences are being canceled, and no studios are being closed as part of the cuts. But they have let go 2,550 staff from its gaming division since acquiring Activision Blizzard in 2023. So, yeah. I don't think there's too much specific on this. I mean, is there anything you want to say on this one?
No, it sucks. Even though it's more support roles,
Yeah.
it still sucks for everybody, in my opinion.
Well, it's like administration, potentially like accounting, payroll, things like that, even
Yeah.
IT, like general technology support and infrastructure and stuff like that. It could be things like that. So yeah, it does suck. And then the next one is the Until Dawn remake. Developer Ballistic Moon has they have acknowledged publicly that they are going through significant layoffs, which is interesting given that the game they're working on does not come out until the next month. So they did acknowledge this though on LinkedIn. And it's kind of interesting. So I guess I'm just going to read the IGN story here. So quote, LinkedIn post from the studio said it was profoundly sorry for the layoffs that appeared to affect at least 11 members of staff at the studio, though an exact number is unclear. It is with deep regret and a heavy heart that we must make the tough decision to significantly scale down our team to secure the future of our studio. This comes after our development of Until Dawn for PS5 and PC. Saying goodbye to such a talented and passionate group of people is incredibly difficult. We're profoundly sorry for the impact this restructuring will have on our employees and our families. End quote. So it's not doesn't sound like a huge amount of people, but it's a significant portion of their staff. So and this is before their game even comes out. So they're not anticipating. They must not be anticipating the game to be doing super great. But then there's a third one, and this was from a couple weeks ago actually. We didn't talk about this, but Visions of Mana developer Uka Studios, I think is how you say it. They are owned by NetEase, and they are closing basically, which was announced a day after the game launched. Visions of Mana. So this one was really brutal to me. These last two are really brutal actually to me, because it's happening after years of work on a game, and you release the game in the Vision Mana case, and then you don't even get to enjoy the launch of the game before you're let go from the company. And then the same thing with Until Dawn. The game's not even out yet, and these people are getting laid off. So these the layoffs continue in the game industry, Montreal. But is there anything specific you want to say on this?
No, like you said, I just think it's really it sucks that um they release this game and then they get laid off. I mean, we did not know about this, but we did see this down the line with like Square as well, like that they're going to start laying subsidizing or doing a more
Mm,
focused approach towards everything, and the writing was
hmm.
on the wall. Of course, they're not going to get rid of their main Square Enix team. Um, so yeah, someone had to go, unfortunately. And yeah, I just think it sucks right now. I think it's I'm trying to look at the positive, and it's kind of hard because I'm not the one being laid off right now. So I don't want to sound like I'm sounding uh
Right. You're not like
not being empathetic towards
downplaying. You're not downplaying their
yeah.
lost jobs, but yeah.
Usually, a lot of developers can bounce back because they have a unique talent of actually making games.
Right.
So, whether it be making another studio or going to another studio or making their own indie game, I think a lot of these developers, especially for the people for Trials of Mana, like they are very talented, and I have no doubt in my mind that they can bounce back and make another game or go into another studio or something like that. I mean, sometimes it does take being laid off or being fired or something like that to actually get your dream accomplished, and I think a lot of the
Mm,
time this may happen. Now, I'm not saying that to say like to excuse Square Enix or whatever. Like
right.
that's shitty management on their part,
Well,
and I feel
NetEase
NetEase. I'm sorry, that
specifically. Yeah, Square doesn't
Net
own the studio.
yeah, that's shitty management on NetEase's part, and I feel like there should be some kind of. I feel like before we get to layoffs, CEOs need to start losing their salary. That's what I feel like, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, but NetEase is a Chinese company, so um, they don't have the same values we do. I just think it's so snake-like to have this studio work on a game, release the game, and you fucking lay the studio off before you even know how the game did. You know,
Yeah,
like that is so insanely underhanded. That one is fucking brutal. I think the Ballistic Moon one sounds more like they don't have a choice, or they feel like they don't have a choice, and the studio is pretty small. And they just don't feel like they can afford to um because it's possible, like if the game does well, they could hire people back potentially, or if Sony comes in and acquires them, they might be able to hire some people back, and that might be desirable for them.
yeah,
So that one may have a happier ending in a month or two, but yeah, the one for the Trials of Mana studio is fucking just brutal. Just feels like corporate, just like cold calculated corporate bullshit, from an executive. So
yeah.
but
I
yeah,
don't like. I just don't like that at
I
all.
don't either. No, it's horrible, dude. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like we can't continue to run businesses like this,
I think that's the
Um,
problem. I feel like people just corporations just run everything as a number, and
yeah,
they're not considering the humanity behind that number when you lay that person off, or were you not? I mean, when you lay someone off, they may be the most talented person and they may be able to actually just bounce back instantaneously. But it's still such a mental anguish. Like you didn't do anything wrong and you're still getting let go. Like
well,
I don't think people
you're putting a stigma on that person too, because a lot of companies are going to look at somebody who was laid off, like even if there was nothing you could do, there was no control you had over it necessarily. But the way companies work is they only lay off things they believe they can afford to lose, which means you didn't make the cut, you know, like from their eyes. So other companies are going to look at you that way, that like you weren't good enough to make that cut, you know,
Yeah.
which sucks.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the part that sucks. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just I remember when I got laid off, or it was furloughed, but I consider that still being laid off.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just felt miserable, even though it wasn't
Yeah,
my fault. I just felt like
right,
I wasn't good enough to make the cut, so they just let me go.
right,
So
right,
yeah,
and that it's I don't know. That's why layoffs are, dude. It's miserable. I've been through four now at the company I work for. In the last two, I have been in charge of collecting the computers, getting people's personal files that they need, and I'm like personally interacting with the people who are let go in the situation, and it's the most miserable. These are the most miserable days of my career. you know, like they're horrible. And it's like you've got people like, but there are people I work with that are there sitting there like having a great time, cracking jokes, waiting for the next person to show up. And I'm like, dude, this is a horrible day. Like have a little tact and like treat it as such, like
yeah,
this isn't fun for anybody. And today's not the day to be cracking jokes. It's like a ton of people are losing their fucking jobs. And this is a serious thing in any situation. Like losing your income, I don't care who you are, is huge. It's like some people are lucky enough where they built up enough of a nest egg, or they have investments and they can take money out and stuff like that. But I don't think that's a huge percentage of the population. So that is not an assumption that's worth making in most people's cases, that they're just going to be able to land on their feet. And so trust me, like I understand the seriousness of layoffs more than a lot of people probably. Um, and it sucks. Like I hate to see this. It's just I don't know what you like. What do we do as individuals though, like to hold these companies accountable, right? It's like the answer would be to not buy their products, but it's like how do you do that when everybody's laying off people at certain points? Like everyone's done layoffs. Sony's done layoffs, Microsoft's done layoffs. It's like every big company's done them. I guess Nintendo hasn't, as far as we know. Um, but uh, Nintendo seems to be well run and well managed. They have a good vision for where they want to be and what they're doing in the games industry. Um, so yeah, but I did want to highlight real quick. We haven't looked at the tracker, the layoff tracker for the year for a while. It's up to 12,700, and that is without knowing all the numbers. These are just that is the number, knowing the exact numbers that we actually know, the ones that were like publicly disclosed. So we don't know how many people were let go from Ballistic Moon or Uka Studios that I just mentioned. We don't know Ready at Dawn because they just closed like a month ago. We don't know how many people were let go there. We don't know a lot of things with some of these, so the number is probably a lot higher than that 12,700. And that is an insane number of people to be let go in 1 year. So,
yeah.
all right, anything else, Montreal, on that one?
Nope, that's it.
All right, moving on. This one was kind of shocking. Hideaki Itsuno. He has been at Capcom for 30 years as a director, and he's worked on a lot of projects for them, including the Dragon's Dogma games, and I think all the Devil May Cries since 2. Is that right?
Yes, I believe since
Like I
again,
think he jumped on 2 very late, and he made 3 because he wasn't satisfied with 2, is what I've understood.
yeah, because I forgot his name. The other guy from from Platinum, he did one, and then they and then
Oh
they did,
yeah, okay,
and then they did two. I don't think they did two with him though, because I think he started making Clover Studios after that,
yeah,
and yeah, then they did in three. He did two and three. Um, it's it's I can't pronounce his
Itsuno.
name. Itsuno did two, three, four, and five, obviously. But yeah,
Yeah, so this
Uh,
guy's an important piece. So he's leaving the company to go work on his own ventures, I guess. And I mean, Montreal, are you concerned, I guess, about the future of these, specifically Devil May Cry, I guess?
um, yes. The reason I'm concerned, I don't know, man. I feel like they do a really good job at making proteges. So I think a protege is going to
Yeah,
come out of there
yeah,
and do what they want to do with it.
hmm
It's very weird because I feel like he was a protege from, or he was a mentor from um Hideki, but not Hideki, but the other guy. Fuck,
Kamiya.
Kamiya. Kamiya. I feel like he worked under Kamiya a little bit.
Yeah,
Um, I could just be making all this up, but I feel like he did. But he was like also Itsuno was a part of like the fighting game scene. So he brought that fighting game knowledge over to Devil May Cry, which is why Devil May Cry feels like a, a fighting game, but like in a single player
yeah.
aspect.
He started working on Street Fighter actually,
Yeah.
um, and then he co-directed Power Stone.
Yeah.
And then Capcom versus SNK 2 Mark of the Millennium 2001.
So this actually makes a lot of sense. I don't know if you remember, but I was wondering why they got Devil May Cry's battle director for Final Fantasy
Yeah,
16. And
yeah.
maybe he saw the writing on the wall, like, okay, Itsuno's about to leave, so I'm probably just gonna leave and take my talent elsewhere because I don't want to
Yeah,
really
but
work
that
with you.
was years ago at this point, dude. I mean, that game's been out for a year and he was involved with it at least 2 years before the game came out. So, I mean, we're talking 3 years ago. You think this was planned that far in advance
I
for
think so.
Tsuno?
I think this is
Forget
I think this is not like a I hate Capcom Leo. I think this is amicable, but I think he prepared this.
Well, I guess you're right. Maybe he was saying that Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be my last game with the company.
Yeah.
And I mean, it did just come out this year, earlier this year, and I think he feels like he can let it go now.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Well, happy trails. I mean, he'll be doing something else, so we'll see what he works on. It's kind of an interesting thing because I mean, it's not like he's not going to be making the same type of game you would think, presumably, right? Like,
I don't think so, but I
you think he
mean,
would get the funding to make a game of Devil May Cry's caliber? I would not think so.
no, I think he wants to make something different, like
Yeah,
totally different. And I think
explore a
that's
different
why he's
space.
yeah, I think that's why he's leaving. He wants to just make something totally different. And I
That
think
makes
that's
sense.
okay. Yeah.
I mean, dude, 30 years, dude, 30 years is a long time to work
Yeah,
anywhere.
exactly.
And do anything for that long of a period of time. So I totally get it. He maybe just wants a fresh start and to try something different before he gets to retirement age, you know. So all right. Let's move on to our next story. And this one, oh man. Dr. Disrespect. He's back. And his first stream, he had about a 20-minute diatribe, I would call it, about what happened. I'm not going to get into specific quotes or anything. If you guys want to go hear that, you can go listen to it. It's public. It's online. You can go view it whenever you want. It definitely did not satisfy me though, in terms of what I think about him. My opinion on him has not changed since the last time we talked about his situation. Because the one thing I will say about what he said when he came back is he was very angry. There was a lot of yelling. I mean, he's Dr. Disrespect. What do you expect? But he did use the terminology age of consent. And then he said specifically that it was never proven that the person was a minor in the jurisdiction they were in at the time, basically, is what he was saying. Something along those lines. And uh to me, that's like, obviously we don't know this for sure, this isn't factual, I'm inferring this, but I think the person in question was 17, which would make them
Yeah.
a minor. So yeah, given all those words, if they were 18, you would just fucking say they were 18, you know. I think it's as simple as that. And just to continue with the context on this story, so he's come back. Pretty much everybody's denounced him. There's been very little support for him. There's a lot of negativity to the point that even players in games. So he was trying to play Deadlock. I think it was yesterday, and everybody on his team quit the game he was in, and this went around Twitter and everything. So he is man, he's gonna have a rough go of trying to rehabilitate his career and just keep going as a streamer. But Montreal, what do you think? What do you think about this?
I'm in the same mind as you. I didn't even watch the video, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I caught bits and I caught tidbits of it on Twitter. The one time I actually did get on Twitter when you told me that,
Mhm.
and yeah. So this reminded me of this like this recent beef that just happened. I don't know if you heard about it between Drake and Kendrick,
Yeah.
and so Drake was accusing Kendrick of being like a domestic violence person or whatever, which is not true, which is not substantiated by anything. And then Kendrick was accusing him of being a pedophile, which there is a lot of actual proof for that.
Yeah.
Not a pedophile, but like an abuser and things of that nature, which is a lot of there's some proof for that, or whatever. But in the end, or whatever, Kendrick made this really good song called "Not Like Us." Um,
Hmm.
and uh and then Drake tried to respond to the song because they've been going back and forth for about a week, and then Drake tried to respond to the song. In the song, he said, um, "The Epstein angle we expected." And then he proceeds to contradict how he expected everything in the entire song. So that's kind of how I felt about Dr. Disrespect, because he kind of said a line like that. He was like, "Oh, we expected him to do this," and it's like, how did you expect that? You didn't expect that at all.
Right.
Um, Unfortunately, I feel like this is one of those things where, like we said before, if you're a fan of the guy, you're going to continue to be a fan of him. Nothing can take away Dr. Disrespect from you. Um, I, my opinions hasn't really changed on him. Um, I think it's weird. I mean, even if it is a 17-year-old, yeah, you can get into the legalities of a 17-year-old.
Ugh. They're a
But my
minor.
thing,
I don't care where you are.
yeah,
Like,
bro, in my opinion, though, like 37 or 34 at the time he was, I'm
yeah.
35 now.
Or 30. I think he might have been 33 or 32 even, But
Okay.
yeah.
Even still, I'm
In your
35.
30s. What a
Yeah,
dude.
in your third. Like,
He had a kid.
I'm not talking to a 17-year-old, bro. I'm sorry.
Right.
Like, I'm
Right.
just not going to do it. And even if an 18-year-old approached me and they were like super hot, I would still feel queasy, like really, like I don't know about this one. Like, boys, I don't know about this one, chat. Like, I don't think we should talk to this one. Like, like it's crazy to me. So I can understand. I can't understand. I'm sorry. Oh,
Yeah.
what I was
I
gonna
can't
say is,
either. I don't know.
I can understand you doing stupid stuff in a really weird headspace when you're getting all this fame and stuff like that, right? I can
Which he
understand
did.
you
He
probably,
cheated on his wife. We
yeah,
knew about that, right? Like,
exactly. And
yeah.
that
Right.
part is not excusable, but I can understand it when you're just going through like these life changing events, like you're getting all this money
Dude,
and
that was when he was first getting like huge. I mean, we're
ex-
talking millions of fucking views and millions of
yeah,
dollars probably everywhere floating around.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I not condoning it, but I understand. But what I can't understand is you talking to a 17-year-old willingly. Like now, unless the person lied to you, that's a different story.
Which he's
But
never said that. He's never
he's
said
never
that
said
though.
that though.
Like
And
he's not. He isn't denying the primary accusation. He's never actually forcefully denied that. He's getting angry about the procedure of how everything happened with Twitch and the case and how it all came out and leaked. He's not actually denying the primary allegation though. It's like
and
so.
then that's my problem. Like you did what you did. You talked to a minor. There's no way around it. There's nothing else to talk about behind it. And
Right.
I can't support you over that. Like I'm sorry. I
Right.
can't. And
Yeah, I'm not gonna say you don't like you don't deserve to have a job or a livelihood. I'm not gonna go that far necessarily. Like he didn't act on it. He wasn't in person. He didn't try to get in person necessarily. So it's
Yeah,
the
and I said
line's
like
not that far drawn, but it's like I don't
it's
want to
still a
associate
stupid.
with you though. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
yeah.
It's like it's one of those things where it's like um you just can't. I don't know. It's almost like a what if situation. Like it's like
Yeah.
what if that person was close by? Would you have went through with it? Like
Right. If you had happened to meet up, what would have happened? In that
exactly.
headspace you were in at that point in time? Who knows? Right?
And that's the scary part, right? And that's why I say I understand you being in a very vulnerable headspace because you're being exposed to a lot of different things and you don't know how to handle a lot of different things. But in my opinion, 32 is enough to have maturity to like be like, all right, bro, I need to take a step back. I already cheated on my wife because I think this is after cheating with the wife situation, right? Well, like
It
probably
was around the
then,
same time frame.
yeah. So I already cheated on my wife who I have kids with and built a life with. Me personally, I couldn't do it. Like I just couldn't. I couldn't even cheat on my wife. Like I'll be probably telling her the hour after it happened, like yo, listen, something just happened. I can't. Like I'll be crying. Like you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Right.
Like
Right.
so 32. I feel like in your 30s, man, you're just more mature. And there, I can, and I might get flack for this. I can understand a 25-year-old doing some stupid shit like this. Like this is a 25-year-old, 23-year-old mistake, right? I can
Yeah.
understand that. I can't understand a 30-year-old doing it. I'm sorry. Like that's where I'm at. Like I just think
Right.
the maturity, and that's where I want to. That's what I'm the point I'm trying to make. I don't. There's no excuse for the maturity level that he's at for him to make this mistake. Like there's no excuse.
Agreed. Totally. No, I mean, it's like if he was like single, it would still be horrible, right? But it's like there's like a spectrum to it though. He was married with a child.
And
It's
I
like
think the child is almost that was that age at that. Well, no,
no,
probably
no,
not.
no. His daughter is really young. Actually, she was probably an infant at that point in time. Like I don't even think she's 10 right now. So, but yeah, I don't know. So dude, it is what it is. If you want to watch Doctor Disrespect, whatever, dude. More power to you. It's fine. He's gonna be around, but he's gonna be dealing with this harassment though forever now. Like he's never getting away from this. Um, I just think this is something he's gonna have to deal with. You know.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, is it unfortunate? I don't
No,
know.
I mean,
I
yeah, it's whatever.
yeah, like
He doesn't deserve to just get away with it, right? Like,
I
you know,
think he is though. That's the problem. I think he is. He still has his fan base. He still has people supporting him. People made it a weird right versus left thing, and I'm tired of it. I can't wait for this whole election shit to be over with because I kind of just want things to go back to normal.
me
Uh,
too.
yeah, they're making it this weird right versus left shit. Um, and I don't think it's I think both sides can agree that we do not like pedophiles. I don't think this is a right versus left thing.
I would hope so. I would hope we can agree on
I think
that.
we all can agree upon that. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just very weird how people are trying to frame this and everything like that. And um yeah, I
Well, he
mean I hope
tried to pretend. He tried to pretend that he was, like he he's trying to pretend that he's purposefully took the word minor out of his original tweet statement and then put it back in to
yeah, that's the part
trick
where that's
media or
that's the
whatever.
Epstein, that's the Drake. Oh, we expected the Epstein angle. We expected him to do that. And it's like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah. I was
shut
like,
up.
dude, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, you aren't this smart. Like, you're not fucking 4D chessing the world, you know? So I don't know. I don't really want to talk about it any more than that, but so he's
Yeah,
back and
and I
yeah.
feel like I do want to talk about another angle, and I feel like it's going to be hard for me to be well. Not it's not going to be hard for me. I feel like for other people, it's going to be hard for them to accept that this happened, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, you're going to have to accept it. Like
Right.
this guy did what he did, and there's
Right.
no coming back from that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the only thing to really pay attention to with this is like if he sticks around and continues to push this, like how long is it going to take for the furor to die down? Because I think it's still pretty there at the moment. Does he get to a point where things are relatively back to normal for him, and like, most of the streamers still denounce him and everything like that, but from an audience perspective, he's back to where he was, and people are, there's not like people like harassing him and shit like that. Is he ever going to get to that point? Like, I don't know. I would imagine possibly. It's like people do, when enough time passes on anything, a lot of people tend to move on. So,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
unfortunately, I think it
We'll see.
is. It is going to be one of those things. Unless he actually gets like some kind of conviction or whatever. I mean, look at
Right. That's
you
not going to
know
happen.
that's not going to happen. Like, I mean, look at like OJ. Look at uh, I mean, we forgave R. Kelly for a while until he actually got convicted of what he did. Um, who else? Michael Jackson. We forgave him until unfortunately he passed away. Um, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's just like time will tell what happens with the person or whatever the case may be. Um, if it pops up again, then usually sometime lightning does strike twice, in my opinion. So
Well, that's the thing, dude. We know about two things, right? We know about this, and we know about him cheating on his wife. What else was happening in that period of time? You really want to tell me this was it? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. This dude was going to every convention imaginable. Like he was out there in the world interacting with people. So who knows? Who knows, dude?
well, yeah, that's the problem. Like, is there like for certain crimes, do we actually like not to get like all religious or whatever, but like most religions teach, forgiveness. And it's like what point do we forgive the forget at what point do we forgive it? At what point do we not forgive it? Like I
Right.
don't know. And that's not that is a public unfortunately that is a public thing. Like, okay, guys, we just gotta forgive him and whatever the case may be, blah blah blah. Um, I think me personally, if he was very apologetic about it and legitimately was like, I am apologizing about this or whatever the case may be. Now, maybe he can't do that because of legal reasons. But I think the sheer smugness of the situation adds on to the cadence of why I can't even like enjoy his content anymore. Because we quote him all the time and shit like that, and we used to rather,
Yeah,
but
we
like we
used
can't
to.
like we can't really do that anymore because of like the status of what he did or whatever.
Right. He ruined it. Like he ruined
So
it. But then again, I mean, dude, people have been forgiven by the public for much worse. So,
yeah, that's true.
um,
That's true.
like Michael, again, I think I brought this up last time. Like Michael Vick was basically rehabilitated, in the NFL, after having a fucking dog ring in his home where he was having dogs fight each other, and kill each other. Like it's fucking heinous, And that dude went to prison, came back, and ended up playing in the NFL for a few more years, And
But that's the key thing, what you just said. He went to prison.
he that's true. He did do his time. He came back a different person. True.
Yep.
Like that is actually a very fair point. Doc is not showing any amount of contrition here at all.
Exactly.
I think he almost
I feel
feels like he didn't do anything wrong,
I
and
feel like
that's the problem.
it's gonna be a year, and Nick Mercer's gonna be friends with him again. Tim the Tap Man's gonna be doing streams with him
Yeah,
again. Yeah, M's gonna
dude,
be
if
doing
that happens, man,
it's
I
gonna
don't know.
happen, man. It's gonna
You think
happen.
so? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. I think
It's just
everybody
too much money. There's too much money in it for them to collaborate, Like it's kind of like at a certain point they're hurting themselves not doing it. That's
exactly.
fucked up, you know. So,
So I don't know, man.
all right. Fair enough. Let's move on to our next story, which is about Concord. So obviously we talked about this game. It shut down last week. However, there has been obviously a lot of talk about the game on Twitter, online, on YouTube, etc. But one of the senior concept artists, Amanda Kiefer, replied to a tweet this week that I thought was notable and worth talking about. So I'm just going to read the whole tweet thread here. So, quote, Well, actually, sorry. Let me get the original thing. I don't remember the original message entirely, but the person was saying that they wanted to try their hand at maybe redesigning some of the art for Concord, like some of the character designs, as like kind of like a practice thing. They weren't being derogatory. They weren't saying the art was shit or anything like that. They were just saying like it might be a fun exercise. So she replied, quote, I was going to DM you after seeing this, but this site makes me pay to do that. So at the risk of getting dogpiled, I'm just going to say this here. A lot affected the art side of Concord, including design by committee, failure of some leadership to listen to the art team, etc. The character concept art team, including myself, is going through an extremely difficult time emotionally, and some on the team no longer want to work in games, character design characters, or even do art anymore after this. Because of this, posts like yours, though understandable, are unfortunately ill-timed. None of us know which way the wind will blow with the studio. We are worried sick and terrified of the future. Not only that, but we have been shouldering the brunt of emotional labor as executives and directors dodge most of the blame. Behind the scenes of all this talk about Concord and character designs, people's livelihoods are at risk, and there are very real financial consequences that might hurt us even more. That's just what I can say from our point of view. I'm not saying change course or anything. Us artists like being able to use social media to promote our work and get more jobs, but I am saying we see this and it does absolutely affect us, since we just got our teeth kicked in. End quote. So
Okay,
yeah, what do you think?
I mean, I understand,
Yeah,
but this also has nothing to do with me. Like that's what I would say. Like I understand, and then I feel like the artist, like out of respect, would be like, all right, cool, I won't do anything about it anymore. But I just feel like this has nothing to do with me. And my post was really just coming from like people do this all the time, by the way. Like this is not a new thing. So
yeah,
I do want to give people like I said, I'm like an amateur, very, very amateur character designer.
yeah,
I tried in school, I failed at it, but I do know the concepts of what's going on.
yeah.
People do redesigns and reimaginings all the time, whether it be they call it fan made art.
Fan
Some
art, yeah,
people, yeah, fan art. Some people can use it in your portfolio, but it has to be like a significant upgrade. Like if for example, right, say like we never got Metroid Prime or whatever, right? All we
yeah,
had was 2D reiterations of Samus. She never was in whatever. And so somebody take that 2D sprite and make it 3D. There's like this is my imagination of how Samus would look in a 3D, photorealistic environment, and they make her. That would be like considered like a reimagining. And people do that all the time. So while I understand this is a kick in the teeth to them, she should know that this is a normal thing in the industry, like or
right,
in the hobby space. Like this is a normal thing in our space that we do. We
right,
do reimagining all the time. Uh, like if you look up, there are like plenty of Zero and fucking Mega Man X reimaginings everywhere, especially Zero because the for Mega Man X Zero, that version of Zero, like his blueprint or not his blueprint, it's called a character blueprint or character sheet. His character sheet was leaked online, and like that's like the first model that everyone that makes, including myself, that everybody made since like 2008 or whatever. Um,
right.
so like I said, while I understand the context of what she's saying, I
Hmm.
need her to understand as well that you can't tell someone else not to do that. Well, I guess you can because it's your IP or whatever, but I need you to have some kind of understanding. I don't know. Like I felt like she needed a target to lash out at, and that person was the target, in my opinion. You see what I'm saying? That's how I feel
Yeah,
about the
no, I
situation.
do. And I think she wanted to get out there. I mean, she did try to lay the blame on leadership in her post a couple different times. Um, and specifically to that, I think like I really need people to stop this just knee jerk blaming of executive leadership all the time. Because while the buck does stop with leaders at companies, right? That's true and real and they should be held accountable for mistakes like this. And that should be the case here too. I'm not saying that the Concord, the executives of Firewalk aren't to blame here, or Sony or whoever, right, aren't to blame for what happened with this game. But at the same time, sometimes it's a whole team failure, like everybody failed. It's not just the leaders, the people making the art failed too, right? Like, because you got to go through the whole process, right? You design the characters. At that point, you're going to present the character designs to somebody, probably some kind of leader, potentially her in this case, right? She's a senior concept artist. She might be in enough of a empowered position to be the first person that would kind of approve designs for some of the art in the game. And you will approve the art at some point. Somebody in a leadership position will approve the art at some point. At that point, that's where the leader is held accountable. However, it becomes a failure all around though if it's like the art in at the outset wasn't well made, and then the leader doesn't give corrections or suggestions, or as a whole the team does not correct anything or point things out and suggest improvements, and those improvements are made. So it can be a whole team failure, and I kind of think that's what happened with Concord here. And like we talked about this with like Anthem, right, back in the day, like that was kind of a whole team failure with BioWare, that whole game, everything that happened with that game, it wasn't just leaders making decisions. Remember, like EA, the fucking executive of EA is the only reason the game had anything fun in it. It's like, so it's like it can happen sometimes where it's not just leadership's fault, and I feel like Concord is one of those cases. So that's like, for her to like try to put the blame on other people, I just think it's small. Like doing it all like publicly on Twitter it's just not the way to do this stuff professionally. Like you shouldn't be doing these kind of things and saying these kind of things out there online in such a public forum about something that is so in the eye of the mainstream at this particular point in time. It is the thing everybody's talking about. It's just, so I don't know. So there's that, and then the second thing is she brings up people's livelihoods being at risk, which we did just talk about layoffs, right? But I think when you're when you're arguing with somebody or trying to have a discussion with someone, that is a really just like petty thing to do. All of our livelihoods are at risk every day. If any of us do a poor job at our jobs, we run the risk of getting fired. It's like you specifically, just because of the situation you're in, doesn't mean it's worth more. Like your livelihood is worth more than anyone else's. It's like, so it's, I just don't think that's like, there's not a sound argument there being made personally. So, and yeah, to your point about like fan art and stuff like that, that is hyper common, and companies don't do anything about it because people don't make money off of it, right? Like
exactly, yeah.
They don't care. They don't care as long as it doesn't cross the line where it will cost them money, right? I mean, dude, we even literally have like how much fucking porn is out there of video game characters and shit in media all the time.
Well, you know what?
Dude.
That's an interesting thing because the people do make money off that, but I think they don't touch that with it. I think because of some kind of like copyright or fair use act, they can't sue over that.
Well, it's actually probably falls under some amount of parody, the parody clause.
There you go, the parody clause. That's what it is. Yeah,
because it's so different from what the actual product is. Yeah. And also, I do think companies are smart enough to realize they don't really want to bring attention to that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Except for like by officially going after it, you're telling everybody that it's out there. So yeah, I don't think they want to touch that kind of stuff. I mean, even Nintendo, dude, like they don't go after that stuff either, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's a good reason for that, but so yeah, I don't know. I don't think these tweets are like she's not saying this in contempt or maliciousness really, so I don't want to be too hard on her really here.
Yeah, she's obviously not saying in contempt. It's in my opinion though, even if you say it in the nicest way, and this is just me, I guess this is just like sometime my inner asshole or where I come from and stuff. Don't tell me what to do. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry this situation happened to you, but it's not my fault. And this is fan art, and this is a normal thing in our community. Like, this isn't, I'm not shitting on you or anything like that. So now you're making me a target as well as yourself a target. You see what I'm saying? Like,
well, also, if you decide to do this, to make your own art for these characters or redesign them in some way, like that means there's some part of you that likes it. you know?
Exactly.
Like, so it's
I don't think
almost,
people understand that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, why would you waste your time on something you don't like, you know? So it's, I don't know. It
I
is what it
think
is. It's a shitty situation,
yeah, I
you
think
know?
it's a city situation all around. I think this is what happened. In my opinion, this is probably what happened. Like after she sent that tweet, she probably was like, "Fuck, why did I just do that?"
Well,
Not even because of
she made her profile private, so you
well,
can't
yeah,
see it
not
unless
even
you,
because of the dog piling. I think just mentally, like,
yeah,
why would like after you
right.
calm down and stuff like that, like that's I think we talked about this before, like off stream or off camera or not recording
Yeah.
or whatever. Um, how people just tweet stuff and they don't think about it anymore.
Right.
And um
Yeah.
I think this
That's a
is
good
that
idea.
I think this is that situation where like both me and you learned to just not tweet shit anymore. Like we just don't
Right.
I retweet shit or I might like shit. I don't say anything anymore. Because it's like you are saying the first thing that pops in your head and you're not filtering it, you're not running it through checks, speech checks or whatever the case may be, to actually pass it or whatever the case. And like if I was in person or whatever, talking to you or whatever, I wouldn't say the dumb shit. I mean, well, maybe I will because you're my friend. But like, I
Yeah.
for work for instance, right? I wouldn't
Yeah.
say the dumb shit I say in person. Like even if we were talking about like firearms or video games or some shit like that, like I would still filter what I have to say because it needs to come across a certain way because we're in a certain environment.
Right.
Um, I feel like Twitter should be treated that way. I understand you're doing it from the problem is you can do it from the comfort of your own home. And even if you're not in a home setting, you're in your home in your mind because that is your profile, your domain. And I feel like that's what she did when she saw that. And it didn't run through any kind of checks in her head. And then she tweeted that. I've been a victim of it. I've done it before where I've seen something somebody accused me or I've seen something someone said to me and I took it way out of context, even in text message. I did it sometime. So it's like I understand that. But we got to be more mature to like handle what's going on, if that makes not even maturity. You just need to be in the right headspace. And unfortunately, if you're going through a layoff or not even a layoff, but like a very dire my game I just worked on for 10 years got shut down type situation,
Mm.
Twitter is the last Twitter and Reddit or
Yeah.
anywhere online in that aspect is the last place to be on. And I understand. I 100% understand that it will be hard for you to do that because it's everywhere online and we are tethered to our phones. But this will be the time for you to just untether yourself from the phone, play a couple of
Purge,
video.
delete the apps.
Yeah,
Don't look at them.
do
Don't even
go
touch
to
their
one of your
socials.
hobbies, yoga, pottery, shooting, hiking, something else, take your mind off what's going on.
Mhm.
And this is just advice for anybody who's going through that type of situation. Um, and yeah, then you can come back in a better sound of mind, in my opinion, because this is still fresh. This is like still a week fresh. The game just shut down last week,
Yeah.
so
Right.
6 days ago. So
Right.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, and yeah, to your point, like, dude, I don't know how many times I've posted on Reddit and I regret it after the fact. Like, I don't think I very rarely had a conversation on Reddit where I'm like, man, that was worthwhile. It's just, it's always like you never get the words out correctly. You say it in a weird way, or it comes off angry or with an intent you didn't intend, and it's like I always go back and read some of my messages sometimes, and I was like, man, I sound like such an asshole here, or something like that. And then there's like, the whole fucking like dislike system on Twitter or the upvote downvote system on Reddit. The shit is so stupid, like where people will just downvote things they disagree with or upvote things they agree with. Like it makes no fucking sense. So it's just not worth engaging on those platforms most of the time, in my opinion. As much as I will read Twitter or Reddit a lot, I don't usually jump in the mix very often. So um yeah, I don't think it's worth it, especially when you're dealing with a situation like this. So
Yeah, exactly.
um all right, Montreal, let's move on to our final story of the week, which is Konami has confirmed through their promotions director Jiro Oishi and production producer Noriaki Okamura. Um,
Ooh, nice pronunciation. Look at you.
sorry, dude. That I was
Look
doing
at
that
that
on the
inner
fly.
weeb coming
I
out.
was doing that. I was doing that on the fly, dude. I was struggling there for a second. But they had a Q&A they did on a production hotline episode is what it's called. I'm guessing this is a podcast of some sort that's posted by Konami. They talk about Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 is in the works. So this is confirmed. They did not say what games are going to be in the collection, but they did say that they are going to take their time a little bit more with this one than they did with the first one after some of the launch issues that it had in terms of some of the feedback they got.
Mhm.
They do not want to make the same mistakes with Volume 2, so they're going to be taking their time. They also said that it's going to be a lot harder to do Volume 2 than Volume 1 because they don't have an HD version to start off of with most of the games left that they have to do. With like Peace Walker, Metal Gear Solid 4, 5,
Which is Peace Walker is so
Vengeance
interesting
potentially.
in
Yeah,
my opinion because they already remastered Peace Walker in
actually,
HD.
they do have an HD version for that game, I guess.
Yeah,
So they have
that's why
that
it's so,
one.
yeah.
So.
I
Was
can
that in
see
Volume 1 though? That wasn't in Volume 1, right?
it was in the one that's like on a 360 era. So you can the reason I don't really care about this is because I can play on Xbox right now cuz like backwards compatibility and I have
Yeah.
the Master Chief collection, the Metal Gear Solid collection and it has 1, 2 and 3 and Peace Walker on there as well.
Right.
So
Right.
I can play all those already. Only one it doesn't have is 4 because 4 was still owned by had like some kind of weird deal with like Sony and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, uh, but I think the HD collection part 2 or the Master collection part 2 rather, it definitely is definitely going to have 4. They're probably going to have to remake 4. I can definitely see them doing it taking longer because PS3 technology is fucking stupid. Uh,
Yeah.
um, we all know that, and the developers know that. Everybody knows that. So I could definitely see it having some weird. And there's also, if you go back and play Metal Gear Solid 4, they had a lot of like very specific tech stuff for the PS3. So you're gonna have to remove a lot of that shit or port it over and everything like that. Metal Gear Revengeance, I don't think that's gonna be hard. It's on PC. Um, Peace Walker, I don't think that's gonna be hard. It's already everywhere as well. Um, yeah, the only one I can see them having issues with is 4. I don't know if they're gonna make 5 again. Like, I
I
don't know
mean,
if
they
they're
got to
gonna.
put 5 in the collection though, right?
That's what I don't.
Like
I don't
I would think
know.
I would think they're gonna do 4, 5, Peace Walker for sure, and then maybe Revengeance.
Now they could do the acid games that were on the PSP.
No, I don't know. No, nobody wants those. Nobody wants those. No, just forget about those.
You didn't like the acid games?
I didn't even play them. I know what they are. I don't care. Okay, they're like tactical, stupid tactics, fucking games. Like shut the fuck up. I don't. Nobody wants that shit. They're not canon. Like,
I mean, they're not kidding, but come on. I mean,
no, Montrell. If we get that instead of MGS5 in the collection, fuck that. Who the fuck would want that? I would rather have MGS5. Like,
I mean, or they could do. So in the first collection was Metal Gear like
1, 2, and 3.
actual.
It was
Well,
Metal Gear
no.
Solid 1, 2, and 3.
What? Okay. What about Metal Gear though? Just Metal Gear 1 and 2, like Metal Gear 1.
I think they were in one of the games in the Master Collection as part of the
Okay.
game, but you could play Metal Gear 1 and 2. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I was just making sure like they may do that, but if
No,
they,
those matter. Those do matter. But I
yeah,
believe they're playable in the first collection.
um, I don't know, man. Like, because I'm trying to look at the Metal Gear games that were on the PSP. Um,
I mean, you
obviously
gotta put
Peace Walker
yeah.
was there, but there was one that I played that was like it wasn't acid. It was another. It was um another game.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna say
Hold on. Metal
Portable
Gear.
Ops. Portable Ops.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that one's canon either.
It's not canon, but that's the one I liked. Metal Gear Acid 1 and 2 were trash. I like Portable Ops though, because that came out before Peace Walker, and it was trying to be a little bit like Peace Walker. But unfortunately, I don't think Portable Ops is canon. I think Peace Walker is canon, but it does it almost follows the same. I would say Peace Walker takes a lot of inspiration from Portable Ops, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, but those may be the ones that people want to play. I can say
we need revenge. We need Revengeance in there, dude. Like that game. I don't think that game ever got ported off PS3, right?
No, it's on PC.
Okay, but not on console though. It's not on like PS4.
Oh yeah,
right?
it's not on PS4. No.
Yeah, because that's the same situation with MGS4. So I think we need those two games at a minimum, and then I would want 5 and Peace Walker as well. I don't know if Konami's going to put all that though in one collection. Like that's a lot of game. I feel like they probably think they could split that in two and justify $60, but
Portable Ops is canon. That's canon.
okay.
Asset 1 and 2 are not canon.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So they may those may be the games that they're having issues putting HD versions of them on.
I just, man, I want to play. Like this is what's so frustrating. I hate that they decided to remake 3 first with Delta. It's like I don't want to play MGS3 randomly. Just play MGS3. You know, like I want to play 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5.
Technically,
like,
it's the first.
I don't give a shit. I don't care. Like I'm not playing them in chronological order. Like I'm not gonna play 3, then 5, then 1, then 2, then 4. Like I'm not doing it like that. I'm not.
I mean, it would be cool if they. This is what they should do, in my honest, wholehearted opinion. I think they should do 3.
Yeah.
I think they should remake Peace Walker. Leave 5 the way it is.
Yep, that's fine.
And then do a complete remake of Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2 Snake's Revenge. I personally would want that.
Well, what about Metal Gear Solid? You got to do the first Solid as well, right? That needs a remake.
I mean, the last time they did that, people hated it, which is Twin Snakes.
2 needs a remake. Yeah, but that was on fucking GameCube by like some random fucking studio. Like do it the right way and it will be fine. Like
I mean, you're right, but it's just funny how you got so fucking mad about it. Because that's how I was trying. Because I was trying to get mad about it. No, I'm trying to get mad about it.
No, I'm sorry. I'm actually really hungry right now. I think it's
okay.
The Snickers commercials. You're not you. You're hungry. You know that's me.
This is the best version.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so angry about Twin Snakes. Okay.
This is the best version of you on the podcast, by the way. But anyway, no, I agree with you. It was trash. But my problem, and I'll try to hurry up so you go hurry up and eat. But my problem with like remaking 1 and 2, especially 2 for me is what 3 is for a lot of people, randomly, or 1 for a lot of people. 2 is like the pinnacle of Metal Gear. The writing was on point.
3 is not the pinnacle of Metal Gear. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna say this right now. If Konami is remaking 3 because they think it's the pinnacle of Metal Gear Solid, like fuck you guys. You have no idea what you're talking about. 3 is not the pinnacle of the series. Okay, it's probably the worst entry, actually, in my opinion. Like I
wish we were popular because you'd be getting ripped to shreds right now. But
yeah, fuck them all, dude. I will all comers come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. 3 sucks. Okay, it doesn't suck, but it's the worst game.
I personally think 4 is the worst. That's a hot take.
I love 4, man. I personally think 4. I know love 4.
Everybody loves 4. I'm not talking about
no,
you.
Actually, I think a lot of people agree with you. I think a lot of people hate 4. The thing with 4 that I really like, I understand. 4 is a lot of cutscenes. Okay, it's a lot of cutscenes. There's a lot of exposition. But when you're actually playing 4, like it's fucking so fucking good.
Yeah, it's Metal Gear 5 beta, and it's so fucking good. Like you said, but the problem is you don't play. You don't play.
No, you don't. No, you're right. No, you're totally right. And I understand that. I do, but in my heart, I really have a soft spot for 4, dude. It's so hype. I remember when you do the and spoilers for 4. I'm sorry. I mean, the game's fucking 15 years old. You know. But spoilers. Skip ahead couple minutes. The part where you fight the Metal Gears in Shadow Moses. And it splits the screen, and Raiden and Vamp are fighting each other, and you can't even see it because you're trying to play a gameplay sequence. But dude, the reason it's so hyped for me though is that I was I played through all the Metal Gear Solid games 1 through 4 over a month during a summer in 2008, I think. With my best friend at the time, and I went over his house every day, and I was playing Metal Gear, and he was watching me play. Like, he watched me play through the whole series. And when I got to that point, because he didn't play 4 before I started playing, when I got to that point in the game, dude, he's losing his mind, and I'm trying to fend off the Metal Gears. You know, I have no idea what's happening. He's like, oh my fucking god, holy shit! You know, I'm losing my, I'm sitting there like, what's happening? What's happening? I can't even see it. Fuck, you know. I'm like, God damn it, you know, and he's like, dude, that was so fucking awesome, bro. I'm like, so it's got a special place in my heart for me. Like, there's just a point of nostalgia for me with 4 I'm never gonna be able to escape that. It was it's so cool. And when Vamp shows up in chapter 2 and like Raiden's like, you know, him and the two of them are gonna fight or whatever, it was so hype, man. Raiden was so fucking hyping for, and you know, so I should play Revengeance because I probably would love the shit out of that game. But yeah, so you know, I understand though 4 has its drawbacks. I get it. I just think 3. I don't understand why people like 3.
3 is weird. 3 is
the controls, dude. The CQC controls are some of the most convoluted fucking nonsense I've ever seen. I could not beat the final boss of the game because I couldn't do CQC properly. Like, it was miserable, dude. Like, miserable.
No, it's funny because you're right. It is some bullshit. And they simplified it in Peace Walker and in Metal Gear 4 and in Metal Gear 5. They simplified it a lot.
Yeah.
Or they made it more they made it flow better. And Metal Gear 3 was like alpha testing for that shit. But like, I don't know, man. Like, for me, it's Metal Gear 2. Simply because I beat it when I was young. It was like 2001 or whatever when the fucking game came out. And I beat it, and then I replayed it again, and I'm like 21 or 22 or some shit like that. And I was like, or no, actually a little bit later than that, and I beat it again. And I was just like, they were talking about, you know, online and everybody going into their little cesspools or their little half-truth communities and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I'm living this right now with Twitter. Like, this is fucking insane right now. Like, this is actually fucking happening. And this game came out in 2001. And gameplay wise, it's nothing special. But like story wise, it's like, man, it like, you know, the things they pull with writing and everything, like the twist at the end is just, it was just a really good game. Even when I played it the first time, I was just like, this game is fucking crazy, bro. Like,
this blew my mind, the twist at the end. Yeah. Because I played it in 2008, so it was kind of before all this stuff. So I played it. I'm happy that I played it in that environment, though, actually, where it wasn't like quite 100% prescient yet. But it was still a mind-blowing reveal, dude. Like, it's crazy. Like, the whole thing was, it's like, what the fuck is going on here, dude? Like, the whole game is like,
and I'm not about to spoil that for y'all. If you've never played Metal Gear, I'm not gonna spoil that
fair
for
enough.
y'all. Yeah,
it's just, that's my point, though.
Metal Gear 4, though, I can understand, but like 2, you gotta play that shit. That's
my point about 3, though, is that from a story perspective, 3 has nothing like that. You know,
that is
like,
true.
It has nothing that hits anywhere even remotely close to that hard as what happened in 2. Or frankly, I think the stories in 1, 2, and 4 are all better than 3. Like, 3 is fun. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's a bad game. Like, it is a great game still.
It's the weakest of the two. It's the weakest of
the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Because it's like a James Bond game is the way I look at it, and that's how they kind of present it. Because the theme music of Metal Gear Solid 3 is a parody of James Bond. Like, it's straight up a parody of James Bond.
Especially when you're walking up the ladder, that long ass ladder.
It's like that is probably the most memorable sequence in the game. It's hilarious. It's so fucking dude. It's so funny. I'm like, you're literally sitting there for 10 minutes going up a ladder, like, and the music's playing, and it's just just like, what
It's
is
so
going on?
random. I have no idea what that's. I really
It's
want to do an interview with
awesome.
him and just be like, why did
Yeah.
you include this in the game? But it is
It's
awesome.
awesome though. It is awesome though. It is a fun moment. And I just remember there are so many sequences in that game where like I remember where there's the point where you're like trying to hide from the helicopter going up the mountain and you're like going through these trenches or whatever. And I remember getting like the heavy machine gun from somebody. And dude, I remember like I got caught and I just started mowing guys down. And dude, they just kept coming. Like they never stopped spawning. Like it was it. So there was shit like that that was like really weird and like you couldn't kill all the enemies. It was like that didn't feel right in an espionage, stealth game. Like so it was I don't know. It just the game didn't that one didn't hit as hard as the rest of them for me personally. Maybe Delta will change that. I don't know. Hopefully they keep the ladder sequence. I really hope they keep the ladder sequence. Like they can't take that. They can't truncate that or reduce it or remove it. Like that. I feel like that you got to have that in there. Even though modern gamers probably would be like, "What the fuck is this? It's so stupid." Like, whoa, But I don't know. So,
Oh yeah, you got to have stuff like that in there.
but one's classic, dude. Like one just has
Yeah,
great characters
that
and
that's
great
my
character
problem.
moments.
They would have to do how they said they did Portable or Metal Gear Delta, Metal Gear Solid Delta. They kept all the original audio and all the story beats are there. They just added a little bit in between, like the gameplay moments and stuff like that, the moment to moment gameplay. Um, you would have to do that for 1 and 2, in my opinion. Like you can't
Right.
change none of that shit. You have to keep everything the way it is because
And that's
other
really hard.
yeah, that's really super hard. That's going to take a while. Um, but I
Yeah.
feel like you would have liberty with Metal, like the original Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear Snake's
Well, yeah, there's
Revenge.
no audio, there's no voice lines, right? So
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
would be able to do whatever you want with those two, which I think to your point, that makes sense. And also, they would be better to remake first because they are the only games not in 3D, right?
Exactly.
Even as old as Metal Gear Solid 1 is, it's still a 3D game, and there is the GameCube remake that you could play
Ugh.
as well. That does exist, but yeah, it's rough. But I mean, it plays like Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, though.
Yeah.
So
Yep. That's true.
but I think the thing with Delta is that it's going to ruin 3, the original version of 3, probably if it's good, if it's actually well made, because control wise, Metal Gear Solids 2 and 3 are fucking horrible, dude. Like, oh my god, like they're
I
not
I,
they're not fun to play.
I think 2 is okay to play. 2 is still it still runs in that Metal Gear 1-ish type play.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
3, yeah, 3 is like it's not fun to play at all.
yeah.
It actually takes a little bit of getting used to play it because he can't crouch walk. He can only walk and then
Or
crawl.
prone, yeah, prone
Yeah, and
crawl.
prone crawl. He can't crouch walk at all, and it's so weird that they didn't include that in the game. I just it's so weird.
Yeah. No, it took till 4. I remember when we got that in 4, all I did was crouch walk.
Yeah, you can
and
actually do it in portable ops. You can crouch walk, and in Peace Walker you can crouch walk as well.
Yeah. But I remember in 4, it was a new feature in 4. Like the series had never had that before. I guess maybe in Portal Ops it did. But they like tracked. I remember at the end of the game they gave you all these stats and they tracked how much you crouch walked. And I had crouch walked like 90% of the game or something stupid like that. It was like it was insane, dude. Um, but yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Delta's coming out hope by the end of the year, I think. So they haven't announced a date or anything yet, but we'll see. So, but Master Collection Volume 2 is announced. We don't know when it's coming out. I would not expect it for the next probably couple years, more than likely, but it's nice to know that it is coming. So, all right, Montrell. Well, that's all we got today for this episode. Is there anything else you want? Oh, actually, I forgot our final segment. Guess the meta score. We do have some games to guess, actually. So, let's jump into that real quick. Metaphor Refantasio is coming out next month. And I know this is hotly anticipated for you. I'm tentatively excited about it. What do you think in this game is going to get score wise?
I'm gonna say 81.
81.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's low. I'm going 91. I think this game is going to hit it.
Okay. Last time I tried that, it didn't work. So I'm going a little
I
bit
just think
lower
the
this
hype
time.
is real for this game, though.
Yeah.
I think Atlas is going to deliver. But okay, 81. And then the next game, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, coming out at the end of the month in October.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say for this game, I'm gonna go 78.
Oh, you son of a bitch! I was gonna go 79.
You can do it. That gives you everything above that. So
Yeah, I go 79. I was gonna go
okay,
79.
I think this is really interesting actually, because I think this is a great point for us to be like divided on, because it's like I'm basically taking everything lower than 78, and you're taking everything 79 and higher. So,
I think this
which
game's gonna get it's gonna get critically reviewed really well.
yeah,
But then there are gonna be like the off sites that do count towards the critical
yeah,
review, that are still
yeah,
like fan sites and stuff. And I think they're gonna grade this like really low. I think it's
yeah.
gonna fall right in the middle.
I just think this game is going to be really divisive. I am expecting a lot of outlets to hate it, and I'm expecting a lot of outlets to love it.
Oh man, they're gonna compare it to Baldur's Gate. I'm gonna get so fucking pissed.
Absolutely. No,
Oh
dude,
my
they 100% are. I do. That's the reason why I'm kind of low on this, is that I think the game is going to get compared to Baldur's Gate 3, and it's not going to measure up at all. you know, at least in the eyes of critics, is what I think is going to happen. And that is going to be an extremely unfair comparison, which is why I understand why you're pissed. Because they're not going to be even remotely close to the same kind of game, but it's inevitable. Unfortunately, it's a fantasy game, party-based fantasy RPG. Um, you know, those comparisons they're gonna happen. So, all right. Well, that's all we got this week, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please subscribe to us on YouTube. If you'd like to interact with us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I'm at Thundernut01, and the show is at The Player's Take. If you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01 at gmail.com. That'll be it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next week. Bye.